What is up, party people? Happy Tuesday. By the way, guys, you remember how we followed the bald eagles?
Yeah.
Gizmo and them, guess what?
Taking flight, have they?
One of them's taking flight.
All right.
I thought there was only one left.
No, there was two left. Gizmo and, even now, there's one in there. I was on today. It was like 700 gazillion people watching the damn thing. So make sure you like and subscribe to us, not them. But maybe we should do our show from their nest. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Super Talk 997 Eagles Nest.
Couldn't hurt.
Which is also probably racism that I said that. But because of the whole German thing. So one of them, the older one took flight yesterday, I think. So one of them tried it, went up in the air about 4 or 5 feet, and then came right back down to the nest. The other one, you could see it was ready. It took off.
I'm doing it. Boom.
And away it went.
Sonny's the one who took flight.
Yeah, so Gizmo's still there when I last checked.
Gizmo's not leaving mom and dad.
Not this second. But you know what? I was watching that today. I thought, America, baby. That's what we get there. You know what I don't have to worry about? Stuff blowing up here, as far as like bombs landing on our heads all the time and people doing. Nope. I got to watch Gizmo rake it in, and Sonny took off. Sonny was like, I'm out of here. I'll see you later, sis.
Yeah.
Away. So it was so cool to watch, though.
Sonny's got to go out and find herself.
She does. She's got to, she's got that free spirit. I'll tell you that. They say that they rarely, they'll come back once in a great while.
Oh, yeah?
At first. But then, once, because they don't look like bald eagles yet. They just look like black birds.
Yeah, they're just big black birds.
Yeah. Which is,
they look closer to a golden eagle right now.
Yeah.
Until they get their head feathers.
Yeah, until they get their head, until they go bald.
Yeah, until they get bald.
They could try hims and hers for male pattern baldness. Oh, God. When I saw that, I thought, that's awesome. That's just great.
Little Sonny and Gizmo.
Yeah. Big, man. They grew fast.
Yeah, they did.
Because I watched them for a while. They were ugly as sin. You ever seen a bird?
Yeah.
Ugly as sin. It was a thing of nightmares. And then
a face only a mother could love.
Barely. She's like, you guys are ugly as it gets. You're gross. The best way to describe you is gross. But away they went. America, yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
A face only a mother could love.
Oh, did you hear that story about that Florida kid?
The one that I just told you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want me? Yeah, the one who was exercised.
So I just want to get this right. Mom, how old was the kid?
6.
6. I have a 6-year-old.
Little 6-year-old boy.
I have a 6-year-old. Yeah. And while I do believe at times she needs some exercise into some demons, I was telling Belle today, in between my shows, I said, hey, Charlie, let's go scootering. She said, that sounds great, Dad. And 15 minutes later, she comes in. She goes, I'm going back to bed. I can't find an outfit. And she went back to bed. For scootering. We're scootering. That's all we're doing is scootering.
Right.
I'm like, okay. But this kid, 6 years old.
6 years old, hadn't been seen at school since May 14th. Deputies went over for a welfare check. The mother led them to a bedroom where the little boy's body was found. She said that God told her that her son was full of demons and that she needed to exorcise them.
My God.
The medical examiner has not released the cause of death, but there has been, police have responded to this home before in the past. Another adult there at the home was removed from the home in sometime in the past. There's just been some trouble there. And now this mother, says that, deputies said while they were interviewing her there at the scene, she would just go into bouts of laughter and then just be crying.
So obviously she's mentally.
She's got some issues.
She's on the bus of struggle.
But I mean, that's just, it's heartbreaking.
Think about it, because I look at my daughter's 6. I couldn't even imagine that, what is going through your mind?
As a little
kid
boy or
who's
little girl.
Probably strapped to a bed.
Yes.
Why mom is, probably on YouTube pulling off some weird ass, trying to speak Latin and stuff. And what is...
Yeah. The only person that this little boy knew who he loved was his mother. and this was happening to him. It's heartbreaking. I hate doing stories like that.
She's obviously disturbed,
Yes.
I think, at that point in time, because she didn't seem to, she just wandered him back and said, oh, there he is. My God.
Yeah.
What's wrong with people? But you know what? Mental illness is what's wrong with people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And you've been out to the house, and who's the one you removed?
Right. Now, there was an adult male was removed.
Probably because that adult male was going, she is crazy. She's badass crazy. She thinks everybody hears, no, you should probably go away, sir.
Yeah.
You should probably go away. But who was there for the kid? Here's the thing. Who's there for the kid?
Right.
And the fear that kid must have, because you trust your mom.
Right. The person you love the most, who you should be loved by the most.
Yeah. And you don't understand that mom is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, not right. Yes.
Oh, that's horrible.
It is, man. I debated even doing that story, but I did.
It's just it's one of those where mental illness, like, there's only so much you can do for people.
Right.
Like, this is, we talked about it yesterday with the homeless, and, they're trying to get rid of the camps. Even today I'm looking, they're like, there's still some people here, and some people aren't, and they're, even the ones that they moved into certain areas are they're not staying because they're mentally ill. You're trying to reason with somebody who talks to themselves and actually thinks they're being answered by something that's not there.
Right.
You're not fixing that. You're not. And somebody who thinks that their 6-year-old has a demon in him, I guarantee you that she didn't have a Catholic priest over there.
No.
Because the Catholics don't even like talking about it, right? They're like, we'll do it, but you got to go through psychological stuff. You got to do all these kind of things. I've seen The Exorcist.
A lot of steps you got to go through.
Yeah, they don't just hand you the thing and say, all right, go in there and knock it out, right? Father, make Christ believe. They don't do that.
Well, and back in the day, if they didn't want to mess with it, they just had Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Which we're going to talk about later.
Freaking love.
Because there is a great rumor going around.
Oh, yeah?
About something from their collection that is all over the interwebs.
Interesting.
Yeah, so because I got attacked last night. Remember when I talked about the World Cup yesterday?
Yeah.
So I did a video last night. Chad Benson Show TV, YouTube. Go like and subscribe. We go live right around 7 o'clock. So I did it about the World Cup. It's immigration organizations, I think, by the sounds of it, that are pushing take the World Cup away from America because Trump's bad.
Interesting.
Because I was going on and hammering these. You know nothing about soccer. You don't know any of these things. Everything here's a lie. I was getting blocked left, right, and center by all these people, these wackadoos. Like, maybe Mexico or Canada will host it. They're already partners in the damn World Cup, you idiot.
Yeah.
You're not even reading your script. Oh, good God. Yeah, they went off on me. It was great, though. I love that. But yes, we've got some Ed, Lorraine, Warren wackadooness from The Conjuring.
I freaking love those movies.
So there's one more coming out.
Yeah.
The Conjuring. This is the final rites. I think it is the last rites.
It's going to be the last one. Apparently, a case that they did in the 80s.
Yeah,
It's the last one until the next one.
No, I think this is it for them. I also think they're putting it away. The couple.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Friday the 13th, and those are still coming out.
Yeah, but with Friday the 13th, you only have so much you can do with Ed and Lorraine, right? Like they've got to. But you're also. Are you going to send them to space? Right? Remember when they did that on
Why
Friday
not?
the 13th? Remember Friday the 13th?
That's right.
Number 10, they went to space.
Oh. They go to the space station to exercise the space station.
It was so awesome. They went to space. And then he got space stuff. That's what the other thing was great. He got a space mask and the whole 9 yards. Oh, jeez. That's what we do here, kids. Yes, we are going to talk about Tinder because I think it's interesting in a time when when men are evil and bad and all the things, now they're trying a height filter. And so I asked the fair question, well, can guys have a weight filter?
That's hateful, Chad.
Well, what's height? What about our short kings?
What about little fellas?
Oh, did you have sex with a little fella? That was such a great movie.
What about big boned people?
Well, they have that BBW, right? Not to be confused with the big, beautiful bill that's mostly just big.
There's no fat in that. It's all muscle.
So, but yes. It's funny is, what's that old saying? Somebody's like, I've seen 1,000,000 skeletons and never once have I seen a big boned one. They all look the same afterwards.
Yes, they do.
Oh, see, guys, we have fun here. I can't, what's funny is I can't do 24/7 politics because it's the same. It's boring. It's like, what else could we say? Where there's tariffs, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't think they could tell you.
I'm telling you, by the time I leave tonight, Trump will have paused
Something.
this steel tariff.
Yeah.
There will be a pause.
Something like that. And so it's like, at what point in time do you say, I could follow the big stuff. The big, beautiful bill's kind of easy to follow. You guys are mad because you see a lot of stuff in here that is fat and bloated. And I have one serious question about, is it true? Because I've seen it, but I don't know what it's going to look like when it leaves the Senate. And way back in I don't know. It's like in the 700s because that's how big the bill is. There is a thing in there which essentially says we don't have to listen to the courts. The courts can overrule us, but they have no mechanism to enforce anything, which to me is frightening. And they asked a Republican last week at a town hall, and he goes, I didn't read it. I don't know. Which is my favorite. Like, what do you mean you didn't read it? I get it. It's 1,100 pages. If you guys don't know, what happens is you have usually 5 or 6 aides that work with you, and they go through a lot of the stuff. They highlight the stuff that care. It's going to matter to you and your people. But for the most part, I was looking, I'm going, what do you mean you didn't read the damn thing? So, Conjuring versus Godzilla. Book it. That'd be great. So, Friday the 13th goes to D.C. He went to New York. Remember that?
Yeah.
He also went to New York.
So that scary nun in the Conjuring will take on Godzilla.
Oh, God, that'd be great. I'd watch that. I can't wait to see Megan, too.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that trailer earlier.
Was the trailer hilarious?
Yeah,
First of all,
great.
this one, a lot of comedy in it. Because Megan is like, she's just unleashed and being hilarious.
And it's much more futuristic.
Yeah.
Too.
And she was like, the lady's like, you didn't mess up at all, Megan? Like the part where you killed a whole bunch of people? Megan, you don't feel bad about that? Megan. And then Megan puts her finger up to the lady's mouth. She goes, shh, shh, shh. Because she kills a lot of people in the first one. And she's badass in this one. I'm excited about that. A lot of stuff to get to today. Yes, we're going to talk a little bit of The Conjuring because this is crazy. The internet gives you crazy stuff, as you know, because, Biden's a robot. We'll talk about some wacky stuff like that. Some of the big, beautiful bill, some immigration. We got it's a show of roundedness, much like can we ask for that on the Tinder thing? I'd like my girl not to be fully round. You jerk. Well, she wants me to have 6'2". Next thing you know, you guys are going to want to put down how much money I make, which some of them probably already have, right? Like income. None your business. I'll tell you that right now. If you're listening to the show, grab the podcast. Habit Tuesday. It's the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 997. Birch Gold. Why gold? Times of uncertainty, weakening of the dollar, potentially. What's going on in Rio, where they all get together and see if they can crush the dollar, the BRICS folks. It's just a smart play. There's nothing wrong with having something to protect yourself. Gold's gone about 30% in the last 12 months. Opportunity is still there. So why not protect yourself and have a little something, whether you want to roll over a 401k, an IRA, backed tax-free, buy precious metals, or maybe you just would like to have some at your house. It's a smart thing. It's diversification is key, and that's where Birch comes in. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they would love to talk to you. All you have to do to reach out to them is text the word Benson to 989898 today. They'll get you out an info kit, no hard pressure, simple and easy to do. So if you're looking for precious metals, a way to protect yourself and diversify, gold is it. Birch Gold's my company. That is the go-to choice. Text the word Benson now to 989898 today for Birch Gold.
Cookie Wars. Aldi is getting sued because another company says Aldi products, packaging, looks too much like theirs. We'll go over some of those products and other of the day's top stories at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Remember, like Shasta would have Dr. Thunder?
And Dr. Schnee.
Yeah, it's like, oh, really? It's like, yeah, this is Kooky Cola.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. There was Dr. Thunder and Dr. Schnee that I remember.
Orange Sunshine. Whoa, where'd you get that? Right? 6 Up?
6.
Oh, God, that was great. That was back when Shasta was awful.
Oh, remember? I mean, every Little League baseball game that, and practice, somebody would have a cooler and it'd be full of Shastas.
Oh, God.
Or RC. Now, I dig RC Cola.
RC's fine. You know what? Tab. Oh!
Tab was terrible.
Tab you're an awful person if you drink Tab. Outside of that commercial, nothing was good with Tab.
No, it wasn't. I remember the first time I tried it, I spit it out.
Smart.
I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not being fooled by you and your marketing again.
Give me that tang.
Hey, what were you saying about marketing? So there's retro commercials now that are making places hot again?
Yeah, I saw a tease this morning on NBC that all of these influencers on social media have been running like commercials for Chili's and Red Lobster from back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s. And now Chili's and Red Lobster says it's working. They think they're getting more customers as a result of people digging the old commercials that they're seeing on social media.
Wow, that's yeah, you didn't know they had baby back ribs.
I want my baby back.
Barbecue sauce. What are they going to bring back?
My favorite at Red Lobster was the Admiral's Feast.
What was that?
It's a little bit of everything. Had a little lobster tail. Then a bunch of
sea fleas.
Yeah, I mean, just like a little bit of everything Red Lobster had to offer.
I remember, was it Jim Gaffigan said, if you came home and there was a giant bug on the side of your wall the size of a lobster, you would burn your house down. Yet we eat it with butter. And a bib. And a bib.
That's right.
Because you got to have a bib. Because apparently you're going to be gross when you eat this stuff. I don't do seafood because it's gross.
I dig it.
I don't eat anything that swims in its own toilet.
Well, I've never thought of it like that, Brother
Now you
Chad.
have. You're lucky.
Goodness.
You're lucky. I thought of it for you.
Wonder how many times this lobster pooped.
A lot. A lot, sea fleas. I guess we should talk about serious stuff. On your market set, here we go.
They all have different reasons for what they don't like about the version that the House has passed.
Not enough
You have
nudity.
people like Rand Paul and Ron Johnson who are calling for deeper cuts from what the House sent over to the Senate. And then you have Josh Hawley, who is opposed to some of those deep cuts to things like Medicaid. So it's a very fine line that John Thune, as the Senate Majority Leader, is trying to walk here to make sure he can keep all the Republicans on board.
You're not. Yes, we were talking earlier. This is what happens in this situation. This is how a movie gets made. Somebody writes a script, and it's pretty cool. And then somebody goes, I'm going to buy your script. And then they take it and they say, we should make this. Okay, great. Get some script writers on it. They write the script and they turn it in. And some people go, not really into that one. Try it again. Then they write it again. Then it goes through another rewrites. Then some other people come in to rewrite it. Then it goes to another place for the final rewrite. And that's where it is now with the Senate. We're at the final rewrite to find out if this is going to be a romantic comedy or a horror movie. Horror. I think horror. There's a lot of crap in this thing. There is so much. Rand Paul today said, look, I'm not voting for this thing because I think it's going to add, I don't believe the CBO's right. I don't think it's going to add because I think that tax cuts are good. And I think it's going to stimulate the economy. I'm going to veto this thing because we're moving the debt ceiling up almost $5 billion. So that's what you're going to do. You're just going to spend more. Oh, well, that's not good. Isn't that the whole? I thought the whole point was not to spend.
That's what they said.
No, it's to spend on the good things.
That's right. Everything's the good thing. It's
On the things we want.
There you go. That is it. The good. Do I eat chicken? Chad's a child. You know what? I am not. Leave me alone. Yes, I eat chicken, and I'll eat tuna fish as sandwich. If I make it myself, it can't be cooked, and I've got to make it. But no, this thing is, it's always about what I like when it comes to any of these spending bills. As long as it's like that with anything in life. What's in it for me? Nothing. Well, I don't care. Do whatever you guys want. Oh, this is in it for me? Well, then I got to make sure. But they want to take that away? No, I'm going to fight you for that. So they're spending way too much. Can we just be honest? Being honest. Lobster and crap. Eat fish? What? I don't even know what that even means. So,
sounds like somebody ate one of those psychedelic
do I eat chicken?
Lobsters.
Do I eat chicken? Yes, I eat chicken. Why wouldn't I eat chicken? I like chicken. It's not in the sea. Remember, what was her name? The singer, the blonde that was married to the Nick guy. They had a Jessica Simpson.
Oh yeah, Jessica Simpson.
Remember when she thought that chickens, it's chicken of the sea? She thought chickens were actually in the sea.
And you listen to that and you're like, you can't be that stupid.
And then you look at her and you go, God, you're so hot. That ass is banging. I don't think I'm going anywhere. Oh, Chad, you're mean.
Sea chickens.
Sea chickens. Coming up, we got a bunch of stuff to get to. Maybe some of it's politicky. Maybe some of it's different. You don't even know. We do stuff here different. That's who we are. If you missed any of the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. It is the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7.
$12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, hundreds of jobs are going away in Laverne. Bridgestone America's Tire Operations says they're going to shut down their Laverne plant on July 31st. That's going to affect 658 jobs. The company says it is out of a need to operate more efficiently and strengthen its competitiveness. President Trump spending today talking to Republican senators who have expressed opposition to the sweeping tax and budget bill that he has backed. It narrowly passed the House. Now it's in the Senate.
He is trying to make a personal appeal to several of them by reaching out directly. We know he met with Senator Rick Scott of Florida. He was on the phone with Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri. And we are getting word that he's also talked to Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, who has been very critical of this legislation.
That's Karen Travers over at the White House. Testimony continues in the trial for a woman in Australia accused of murder when 3 people died after eating poisonous mushrooms. Here's Britt Clennis.
Australia's alleged mushroom poisoner, Erin Patterson, took the stand for a second day to give evidence at her triple murder trial. Patterson has pleaded not guilty to the murder of 3 relatives and the attempted murder of another after serving them death-capped mushrooms at her home in July 2023. Patterson on Tuesday told the jury she picked and ate wild mushrooms several years before the lunch, saying she developed this hobby for foraging during COVID. She told the court she bought most of the ingredients for the deadly lunch at a local supermarket, and some were purchased from an Asian grocer in Melbourne. Britt Clennis, ABC News, Hong Kong.
Cookie Wars, the maker of Oreo, Chips Ahoy, and Nutter Butter is suing Aldi, accusing the supermarket of blatantly copying the packaging for its food products. The lawsuit, brought by the company Mendelez, claims that packaging for Aldi's original chocolate sandwich cookies with vanilla filling, thin wheat original crackers, vanilla wafers, and golden round crackers is too much like theirs, including the coloring, fonts, and symbols on the packaging. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Berna. What is Berna, you're asking yourself? Less lethal. Still badass. Berna's incredible. So they're local right here in Franklin. You can go over and see them. and check out all the launchers that they have, including their new one that is incredible. Looks like a Glock, feels like a Glock. It's just awesome. These things are incredible. And what they are is they're less lethal, but they're still put a hurting on you. There's no background checks, legal in 50 states, shipped directly to your door. 25,000 5-star reviews. So many police forces are using this. And the other great thing about it is having a feel and a fit like this where you can practice. You can practice in your backyard. You can practice there. It's incredible. And I want you to go see him over there in Franklin. Tell him I sent you. Right now, free range with any burner launcher. So you go, you bring your own CO2 cartridge, but you got the range, you could use it, you could practice, you get 10% off. 7 days a week they're open. Go check them out. The stuff is amazing. They're going to treat you great. 615-558-0534, 615-558-0534, or Byrna, BYRNA.com. Right here with me, Chad Benson. Hey, by the way, it's you. Time to get your system serviced the best way, the busy bee way. Bzz. So, how does a beach trip sound? Sounds pretty good to me. Tell you what, purchase a new AC unit in July and get entered into a free 3-day beach getaway. But the unit right there, so you buy the unit, they're going to take care of the rest, including if you win vacation, yes, for two. Do you see where we're going with this? It's a trip, right? You buy it, you win, you're there. It's a win. 2 meals per day. They're going to take care of that lodging, the whole 9 yards. All from Busy Bee, but you got to buy it this month to be eligible, okay? So, and on top of that, they got great deals going on with Busy Bee, including how cheap it is to join the Beehive Club right now. So you buy one, and you get the other one for free. So it's a $99 value. You get this year and next year for free. It's that simple. Satisfaction's absolutely guaranteed. They're the best in the business. I love them, and they're going to treat you right. So if you got anything wrong with your HVAC, you got anything wrong with your plumbing, one place to call, Busy Bee HVAC. Call 775-7833, 775-7833, or online at busybeehvac.com. You know, Theo Albrecht used to be, here's some silly stuff. Theo Albrecht was the owner and founder of Aldi's. It's a German. He was kidnapped in 1971. Held for ransom for 17 days. He paid the $3 million or 7 million Deutschmarks. Then the country sued him because he wrote it off on his taxes. It's a business expense.
Aldi?
Yep.
So that's who the store is named for?
Yeah, Theo Albrecht.
Well, I'll be.
So how about apples that are? So what exactly is it? They're Nutter Butters?
Well, yeah, the company that makes Chips Ahoy, Nutter Butter, and Oreo says that Aldi's packaging for similar products is too much like their own. Same colors, same font.
Have you ever been to the store and seen, Cuckoo Pebbles? Right? Right?
It's Cocoa
No, it's
Puffs.
Cuckoo Pebbles, right? Like that when you go there.
So there's a product called
Yeah,
Cuckoo.
you know?
Is there?
Fruit Loops. Stuff like that. I mean, that's like that's all those things are, instead of Count Chocula, it's just something so close to it.
Yeah, real close.
Yeah. So it's like, I know it's a dinosaur, but it's also dressed like a vampire. Well, it's Count dinosaur vampire chocula. That's what it is. Jeez, guys, get with the program. Some of you are texting in about the giant, great, big, beautiful bill. It is. It's not great. I'm not going to BS you. It's not great. It's a lot of money we're spending, and I never thought they were going to spend. Here's what I thought they were going to do. They were going to try to cut. And that was going to be an uphill battle. We talked about that. Then they were going to spend a little less. I never thought they were going to not spend more. It's just how much more. And, well, according to this, a lot more. And they'll roll it out. Well, wait till you see what happens. It's going to be incredible. So wait till you see. It's going to be amazing. We'll find out if it's amazing.
And people have to remember, too, when they hear the word cut, that just means a smaller increase.
Yeah. They never... Cutting is never the way that we as human beings would like to see it go, which is, hey, we spent 50 billion gazillion. Next month, we're going to spend 49 billion gazillion. No. It's just, we thought we were going to spend 53 and we spent 55, but we were scheduled to 57. You still spent more, which should, again, anger all of us, which is, there's not a lot you can do. But we'll see what it looks like because the final bill has to come through. And then they have to decide if they're going to vote on it. We're going to get this thing done, whether or not it ends up, actually getting through. But there's some issues with the Senate. And when I hear people go, but they're going to knock people off Medicaid. Who? Who are they knocking off? And it's over a 10-year period. How many people? By the way, if you have Medicaid today and you're 28 years old and you live at home and you smoke weed and you don't do anything, your ass shouldn't be on Medicaid. Now, if they start knocking off who it's meant for, well, that's a different story. But I hear all day, they're going to knock off these people. It's going to be it's going to be horrible for everybody. Shut up. It's not. It's none of those things. It is, let it get and see what it looks like first. And I'm not here to defend this bill because I think it's bloated, right? It's gassy. That's what I'm saying. It's very gassy. But what it looks like at the end and what it actually comes out to be, if your goal is just to scare people, and it works sometimes. Like, was it Paul Ryan? They're going to throw grandma over the cliff. That was the big thing, and it worked. It worked. So I don't know what it looks like. We're going to find out in the coming days, weeks, hours, months, and years. Somebody asked, "Hey, can you give me a phone number for ICE or something like this?" Because they say I have a lot of people on the job site that need to go back to their countries. Well, I'm sure it's not hard if you really want to find ICE. It's not hard, right? You would think. I wouldn't snitch. I know that sounds weird. Would you guys snitch? I'm not a snitcher.
Depends on what I get paid. I'm for sale.
You are for sale. That's okay. So,
anyone from ICE is listening, I have a price, and it's not that high.
Yeah, we've recognized that. He is cheap. He works super cheap. He's cheap like a 4-year-old inside of a Vietnamese sweatshop.
Well, it cost a little more than that.
7-year-old. I just wouldn't. That's not, I can't, I guess growing up that way, I just couldn't snitch. It's never been my jam. Now, if you've murdered somebody, well, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Unless you're my pal, right? And I was like, and then you got to go help. But, it's in this kind of situation, I couldn't, that's not me. I grew up with my dad. Snitches get what? Stitches. And where do they end up?
Ditches.
There you go. You get it. Chad, Larry says, my dad worked in Nabisco for 18 years. Back then, if a box of anything got denied on a truck, Nabisco wouldn't allow them to put it on a shelf in a store. So he brought home all kinds of goodies. Did he bring home Dr. Thunder or whatever?
Yeah, Dr. Thunder and Dr. Schnee.
Yeah, Schnee. Sounds like...
I got to look up all these offbeat
Schnee. That is great. Oh, I love that stuff is awesome. Like when you go to the swap meet and you get Adidas, the brand, the brand of 4 stripes. Check out Adidas.
Here's one, dude. There's actually a mountain lion and a Dr. Perky.
Dr. Perky?
Yeah.
No way. Mountain lion. What are they trying for there? Look, it's a squish. It's like squirt, but it's squish.
Mountain Shoutin' and Dr. Bob.
Oh, that is so great. Probably all made, by the way, in the same factory.
And Big K, Dr. K.
Oh, Dr. K. I remember Dr. K.
Oh, boy, that's an ice cold Dr. K.
Citrus
too.
Drop. That's what our good buddy Nathan says. Citrus Drop was like Sun Drop. There's a lot of them out there that were like that.
They better look out. They're going to get sued, too.
Well, you've got to really be cutting into their thing because, I do wonder how, because if you go into any of these box stores or like, the Walmarts, they all have fake, like I said, you go in there and they're.
As long as you don't tread too close to the line, they'll let some of it slide because Kroger, for instance, is buying so much of their product.
Yeah.
They don't want to destroy that relationship.
Yeah. I wonder if that's the issue there. I wonder if they're no longer stocking. See, because then it gets into the stocking wars, right? Where you put your stuff at eye level and then you move Nabisco or whatever way down below. That's different because Apple-O's is a perfect example of they don't even pretend outside of the Apple Jacks. It's just Apple-O's.
Here's one, man. It looks just like a Sprite bottle, except the name of the brand is Right, not Sprite.
What is it called? Right?
Right, R-I-G-H-T. Wow. Green bottle and the same little sun, around the word, like the Sprite bottle has. And here's one called Cocked Up.
Wait, what? That sounds like a movie.
Let's all go get some Cocked Up.
Oh, wow.
How about a cold Cocked Up, man?
It's
Getting cocked up.
somebody, you know what, though? Somebody's built a business out of that.
You betcha they have.
Like, it's like Sci-Fi Channel was another one of those great, you'd watch it on Saturday nights. They'd have like trans robots. And it was exact same script from Transformers. And it was like, and it was instead of Optimus Prime, it would be Opus.
Here's Mountain Explosion.
Somebody actually tweeted that or text that. Mountain Holler.
Mountain Holler. Dr. Pop.
Dr. Pop.
Let's see. Where's that other one I was
Dr.
looking at?
Knee High. I've heard about that one.
All right. Here's one that is simply nice! Exclamation point. Refreshing cola.
Wonder what that tastes like. We should order some. You know what we should do? We should order some and give them away at our next event. We should take them to FatCon.
Let's see if we have some off-brand diet drinks here.
Oh, fat no more. I wonder, does the off-brand taste just as bad? Some of them are good. Some of them aren't. And the thing is, you go back 30 years, 40 years, the difference between Coke and whatever fake one was out there was, you could tell. Like, it's like one.
Easily.
It's like, you knew what Coke was or even Pepsi. The other one, it was like, that's the most disgusting thing I've tasted. Now the margins are so much smaller because of how far we've come with where you can make this stuff. I wonder how you'd even get into the cola game. Like if we wanted to start, a cola show, like we're going to make one here.
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
I mean,
CBK.
obviously, you've got to have a recipe to start with. But
CBK, right? Chad Bell, Ken. And we'll have Dr. Wizard. Bell, which one would be yours?
No, we should just go with Dr. Wizard.
Dr. Wizard
That's the
sounds
best
great,
one.
right? Dr. Wizard's like, that's a good one. Generic root beer from Kroger's is the best. Oh, root beer. There's always good generic root beers.
Yeah, root beer is, I don't know if there is like a premium root beer over any other type
Bargs?
of root beer. Well, Bargs is pretty good, yeah.
What's the A&W?
A&W.
But, yeah, I don't really, I think that one's a little bit easier, right? You know what is gross? When they try to make those healthy sodas. You ever had one of those? They're like healthy, and they're like, oh, it's a healthy. It tastes just like Sprite. And you're like, that does not taste like Sprite. That tastes gross. That tastes like if you left Sprite out, you undid it, you left it out in the heat for a month, came back, and then put salt in it, and I drank it. That's how bad that is. How do you really feel? I feel like that. Dad's makes good root beer, somebody said.
Dad's root beer.
So there's a lot of that. I don't know. Again, root beer is one of the ones I think you can get away with. I think that's a much easier one to get away with.
Because the formula for root beer is pretty much what do you call it?
Root and beer.
Well, no, but it's what is it when anybody can use something?
Oh yeah, it's like
Public domain.
Public domain.
This can't be real. Here's a can that looks just like a Coca-Cola can, except the name on it is Bro.
I like that.
Throw me another ice cold bro.
That's a good one. I would do an energy. If I came up with something today, I'd do an energy drink.
Well, that's probably what that cocked up is.
Probably.
Plus, it doesn't matter what you put in it because nobody's expecting anything to be healthy in an energy drink anymore.
No. Well, though, at least my wife always checks to make sure. That's why we like Ghost, because they don't have cyanide in it, which is weird to think.
Then are you even really drinking an energy drink? What's the point?
It's better than that. What was that mushroom story you did? Where the lady in Australia, she killed 3 people with the death caps?
Yeah, I had a dinner party, fed them death cap mushrooms that she had picked 3 years prior.
Was she like, I can't wait to kill 3 people?
I don't know, man.
And I want to do it at a nice dinner.
Well, if she picked them 3 years previously, she waited a pretty long time.
Yeah. They're like, you're mad at these people, but you're not that mad at them yet.
Right.
Is what we're saying. Coming up, we got a scary story. Are you guys ready for it?
You bet.
All right, we're going to talk about, could something have caused some issues in Louisiana? We will talk about that straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Raycon, best earbuds around. Father's Day not too far away. Still opportunities out there to grab yourself some Raycons for pops, maybe for yourself as well. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. Use my code Chad. Now, when you go there, you're going to get 15% off. It's 30-day happiness guarantee. So they got everything from the everyday earbuds. They got great home products. It's 15% off site wide, and you get a 30-day happiness guarantee. Now, I use my everyday earbuds all the time because I'm always doing stuff, and it's great because that's multi-connectivity, so I could be on my computer at home as well as my phone. I could be with my 2 computers when I'm at it. It's awesome what these things can do. You get for every 10 minutes you charge, you get 90 minutes of listening power, active noise cancellation, just the feel, all of this stuff's incredible. So, if you want the best earbuds and you want to win Father's Day, it is the everyday earbuds from Raycon. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. Use my code Chad. Buyraycon.com/Chad. Use code Chad.
We know the date for hundreds of employees at a tire factory in Rutherford County to lose their jobs this summer. President Trump pushing a July 4th deadline to get that big tax cut bill passed. We'll tell you about these stories and more at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So, scared? Because did something cause the chaos in Louisiana?
When great works of art or historical artifacts go on tour, serious precautions are taken. There's like private security, there's special insurance, there's physical barriers, and all of that is to protect the exhibits from the public, right? And so it was with a museum piece from New England last month. Except the precautions surrounding that tour were protecting the public from the exhibit. And this is she, the traveling exhibit. Her name is Annabelle.
Annabelle, like the movie. That's right, kids. They are saying that maybe the curse of Annabelle helped those people escape and caused a famous plantation to burn down. Doot, 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 doot. That's the internet for you.
Who took Annabelle out of her case?
So what happens is Annabelle's on a traveling tour. And for those of you guys who don't know, Annabelle, if you've seen the movie, she's not porcelain. She's actually a Raggedy Ann doll. They made it porcelain because they didn't want the lawsuits and stuff.
And they had to make it scary.
Yeah. Well, Raggedy, by the way, when you see Annabelle, it's creepy looking. So she travels around, and there is a full-time priest with Annabelle inside of the box with crosses all over it. So what happened? Huh? What happened? That you freed Annabelle to get the curse out there. Got those guys escaped. By the way, did you see one of those guys did a video begging Trump and Lil Wayne to save him? Trump's like, I'm going to have to look at your case. Get in line behind Diddy.
Who's this Lil Wayne?
Oh, goodness me. So they believe, this is this conspiracy, the latest hilarious conspiracy theory. Although I would believe this more than I believe that Biden's a robot. Which one do you believe more?
I would believe this one.
Yeah.
Not the robot.
So, but it does tour around. In fact, the Ed and Lorraine Warren, a lot of their stuff will tour around in this big thing, and they've got priest and another religious person that travels around with it. But Annabelle in itself is locked up in a case with crosses and notes all over it. They sprinkle holy water on it all the time, and they try to protect it. In the 70s, it was given to a lady, I think her name was Norma. She was a nursing student by her mom. It would move around the house. It would there would be parchment paper all around the house with stuff written on it that was supposed to be awful. And the family swears they don't have that kind of paper. They never did. And there was all this bad luck that came with it. And last, we got a movie named Annabelle many, many moons later.
See, I thought Zach Baggins had the original Annabelle.
No, I don't think so. Like this is well, I mean, it might be them. They might be just, he bought all the stuff.
Yeah.
And he tours around with it.
Yeah, because he's got that museum in Vegas.
Yeah. So, and this is it might have come from there, but this is what these are all the things that travel.
I wouldn't touch that stuff with a 10-foot pole, man.
Hell no. Coming up. So much stuff to get to. Battle of the budget. Wait till you hear what Elon Musk just, I still think tweet is what you do. It's not post, tweet it out. It's not good. I told you guys this would happen.
I'm telling you, man, I'm going to give it to the end of this week before Trump excoriates him.
Oh, yeah. It might be the end of the day. You don't even know. Because, as you know, Trump moves fast. And then we'll be best friends by tomorrow. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. And right now in Middle Tennessee, hundreds of jobs are going away in Laverne. Bridgestone America's tire operations has announced it's going to shut down July 31st. A media release from the Bridgestone Corporation said the decision to close the facility was due to a need to operate more efficiently and strengthen its competitiveness. 658 people losing their jobs July 31st there in Laverne. President Trump pushing a July 4th deadline to get that big tax cut bill passed. Karen Travers says there are some GOP senators who don't like it.
They all have different reasons for what they don't like about the version that the House has passed. You have people like Rand Paul and Ron Johnson who are calling for deeper cuts from what the House sent over to the Senate. And then you have Josh Hawley, who is opposed to some of those deep cuts to things like Medicaid. So it's a very fine line that John Thune, as the Senate Majority Leader, is trying to walk here to make sure he can keep all the Republicans on board.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. ordering the FDA to review ingredients of baby formula to make sure it's safe. It'll be the first review since 1998. And more than a week after he escaped, there's been no verifiable sighting of Grant Hardin, the former law enforcer serving decades for murder and rape. Here's Jim Ryan.
The FBI has offered a $25,000 reward and opened a hotline for tips about the 56-year-old fugitive. The result?
We've had leads across the state, across a handful of different states.
Unfortunately, says Rand Champion of the Arkansas prison system,
none of those provide anything substantial.
The search has centered on the wooded area around the Calico Rock prison, where Hardin made his escape on May 25th. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Well, the mayor of New Jersey's largest city suing his state's top federal prosecutor following his arrest during a protest at that ICE detention center last month. The lawsuit accusing acting U.S. Attorney Alina Habba and a Homeland Security official of false arrest and malicious prosecution. Testimony continues in the trial for Erin Patterson, a woman in Australia accused of murder when 3 people died after eating poisonous mushrooms she allegedly served.
Patterson on Tuesday told the jury she picked and ate wild mushrooms several years before the lunch, saying she developed this hobby for foraging during COVID. They just taste more interesting, more flavor, she said. She told the court she bought most of the ingredients for the deadly lunch at a local supermarket, and some were purchased from an Asian grocer in Melbourne, where she said sometimes the bags might say something like wild mushroom mix. She said she couldn't remember the specific purchase. Patterson's evidence is expected to continue on Wednesday. Britt Clennett, ABC News, Hong Kong.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Breaking news. Colorado suspected attacker. He already confessed. Do I have to call him that? His wife and kid have been taken into custody. I think he had 5 kids. So, not a shocker. Into ICE custody they went.
Now, what's interesting about that is he said he was waiting for his daughter to graduate.
Yeah. Chris and I were talking like, how could you not know? Well, I said, if you went out of the house, and you're a lone wolf and you're not meeting anybody, maybe you bought or you rented a place like a workspace you could go, or, one of those storage places, maybe you could do it. But it would be kind of hard. I'm sure Dad would mumble some horrible anti-Semitic things every once in a great while so they're in custody. He said he planned on dying, but yet wussed out. Well, if you planned on dying, you should have did it in Texas. They would have helped you with that. They'd have killed you a whole bunch. He also didn't have like the flamethrower thing. He couldn't get a gun, which, look, I'm a big 2A guy, but if you can't get a gun, even if you're not here legally, you're an idiot.
If they can't get guns, there won't be any crime.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to get a gun.
Oh, wait a minute. Apparently that's not true.
Yeah, but that's not true. Yeah, they'll get it. 16 counts attempted first-degree murder, 8 counts of first-degree assault, 2 counts of use of incendiary device, 16 counts of attempted use of incendiary device, and hate crime. Hate crime. So you're going to be going to jail for a while, sir. So I'd be prepared to have a talk with your family. Maybe start learning some Spanish. Because it's going to be ugly in there for you. As it should be, by the way. As it should be. Meanwhile, it is... now, I said this was going to happen, and many of you yelled at me. So shame on you. I said, those egos, we'll call him Elon Musk and Donald Trump, at some point in time, we're going to clash. Because big egos do. I mean, it's the way it is. So he just tweeted, and I'm still going to go with tweet. You may X, but I say tweet. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. I'm sorry. I just can't stand it anymore. He wasn't finished. It will massively increase the already gigantic budget by $2.5 trillion and burden American citizens with crushing, unsustainable debt. He is not wrong. He's not. Look, I expect them to spend because that's what they do. It's can we slow the spending down? And the cutting, it's very little cutting that went on that is of worth. Very little. Earlier today, Rand Paul, I know he votes. He always says he's never going to vote for stuff. Yeah, we need more people to say I'm not voting for this.
The biggest objection I have to the bill is adding $5 trillion to the debt ceiling. I'm actually very supportive of the tax cuts. I don't accept the CBO notion that the tax cuts will lead to deficits. The reason I believe there'll be more deficits is they're raising the debt ceiling $5 trillion. We know that this year, most of the Republicans, not me, voted to continue the Biden spending levels in March. So we're going to go through September of this year, and the deficit for this year is going to be over $2 trillion. If you're borrowing $5 trillion, that makes me think you're going to add over $2 trillion, maybe $2.8 trillion next year. So it doesn't show me that you've turned around. If you look at the spending cuts, it's complicated because it's $1.5 trillion. It sounds like this enormous number, but it's over 10 years, so it's $150 billion a year. They're also increasing spending for the military and for the border, $300 billion. That's actually more than all the DOGE cuts that we've found so far. So something doesn't really add up here, and I can't be...
I'm 100%. Nothing, it doesn't add. The math, as the kids would say, doesn't math. And I know math, and that doesn't math. They're spending, and I look at the Congressional Budget Office, you go look at their history. They're on pretty well early. Like, so the first bit they get, and then as it expands out, it's not as and partially because things change, right? Because administrations come and go. They add stuff to stuff. They'll try to take some stuff away. This is ugly. There's no other way to. It's not a big, beautiful bill. It's not. It is a gigantic, giant, huge turd being delivered to the American people. It's like, what'd you guys give it? They don't want to call it the big turd. Maybe I'd call it that. It's a giant turd.
That doesn't have the same zip as
It
Big
doesn't
Beautiful
have the
Bill.
same zip. But if you're telling me, hey, we're going to raise the debt ceiling just $5 billion, but don't worry, it's only for your precaution, right? So this is what's best for you.
We won't spend it all. This will be the last time we ever do this.
I don't know how many times. I remember, was it Trump? I think it was his second year when they did a big omnibus bill, and he said, "I will never sign anything like this."
I'm not
ever
doing
again."
this. I'm only doing it because it funds the military.
Yeah.
Which the military's never had a funding problem.
No.
They have a decision-making issue, and they want all their toys, and they want them now.
Yeah. So how about big bogus bill? I like that. Big bloated bill. Big, ugly, stupid turd bill. Now, I hope the Senate can chop a little bit here and there. They're going to spend. Look, I expect them to spend with inflation. But we jumped inflation when COVID came and went straight to insanity, and we've never slowed down. And it's one of those things where they're like, well, we're getting away with it, so let's see how long we can get away with it.
But if we don't keep spending, people will die.
No, they won't, unless you're Bono. Did you see Bono on with Rogan?
I saw a piece of it.
Yeah. So it's funny. So Bono was on with Rogan talking about, first of all, it's weird that he's on with Rogan. And yes, he's got sunglasses on the inside. And they were talking about spending money in USAID and how many people are going to die. And oh, my God.
Just recent report. It's not proven, but the surveillance enough suggests 300,000 people have already died from just this cut off, this hard cut of USAID. So there's food rotting in boats, in warehouses. There is this will you off. This will not. You
Whoa,
will
hold
not be
on
happy.
there, Bono.
No American will. But there is, I think it's 50,000 tons of food that are stored in Djibouti, South Africa, Dubai, and wait for it, Houston, Texas.
What? Who's doing?
And that is rotting rather than going to Gaza, rather than going to Sudan, because the people who know the codes or for the warehouse are fired. They're gone. And so this, I don't know. What do you think? What is that? That's not America, is it?
No, it's not. But let's break this out. USAID isn't gone anywhere. It isn't. That same stuff is still there. That's one of the reasons that Elon's all pissed off and blah, blah. It's not gone anywhere. They've just shifted it over to, it's the Secretary of State now. It's because, as we all know, Rubio doesn't have enough jobs, so he's got to run everything. He's also selling cookies for the Girl Scouts. He's doing a lot of stuff. There's so many ways to look at USAID. We need to have soft power. We recognize that. How about this, though? Why is it always our responsibility in certain areas? How about we teach them to fish? Part of the reason we do this is because the more soft power in certain areas, the harder it is for the likes of China and people to get into certain places and throw their money around. Which should, the fact that we use these nations because we think, well, these guys have minerals somewhere in there we could probably come and snatch from when we need them. It is... We don't want people to die. We are better than that. But spend it wisely. There's nothing wrong with it. And we don't need DEI wacky stuff. And we need the CIA, go start your own fund. Unless, of course, you want us to be a part of it. I was reading today, did you see in the 2000s, the CIA had a Star Wars fan page?
I mean, like you're talking about Star Wars Reagan or Star Wars George Lucas? Star
Wars George Lucas. So they had a fan page. This is how great the CIA is. They have a fan page where so they would interact with their spies or their insiders all over the globe on the fan forums of this Star Wars fan page for Andorra and all these kind of things. And they ran it for like 10 years. And so they would hide messages, and they had a guy that became a Star Wars expert. And they ran it until it eventually got out, and then they had to shut the whole thing down.
So it's gone now?
Now it's gone. But it's hilarious. Oh, I don't know how hilarious it is. That's our money right there. We need to do better. This can't be good. Spending this kind of money. And by the way, the whole you know what? We fired the guy that had the code. Really?
Yeah, nobody wrote those down anywhere.
Well, let me get this right. So there's a warehouse with all the food you could think of for Gaza and Sudan sitting there, and we're like, we fired Todd, and he's the only guy with a 4-digit code to get into this bad boy. Really? That's it? Like, you gave it to one person? Kick in the door. Kick in the door, and we'll see what happens from there.
We don't have the budget to replace the door anymore.
Not anymore. Trump got rid of it. So, if there's food in a warehouse, it needs to go. Nope, they're not going to let it go to the homeless vets. How about we make the homeless vets not homeless? But it also goes back to, we got a lot of problems with the homeless, as we all know. There's a lot. We should spend money here. The problem is spending money here is it's retail plus 10. And does it go as far as we need it to go? Where if you're spending money in parts of Africa, that goes a little bit further, not just for the dollar, but because they've got something under the ground we may want or need in the future. And unfortunately, there's nothing under the homeless vet. Like, if the homeless vet wants to be taken care of, it needs a better lobbyist, right? He or she needs a better lobbyist, and they need to have some sort of mineral around them, because that's why we use so much of this soft power, which is, again, it's disgusting. Talking about a lot of stuff. Guys, we were talking earlier about Aldi and their fake, what was it? Their cookies? Is that what it was, Ken?
Yeah.
Yeah, cookies.
I went and found fake toys somebody sent me. Like, they just ripped the toys off. Superman in a box or in a little plastic thing. It just says Special Man with an S on it.
Well, how do you know he's not?
Star. This one's my favorite. Stars Wars Yours. WARSIORS. You have Karate Farmer.
Karate Farmer.
You have Wise Puppet and Door Ladder.
Karate Farmer.
And they're all made in China, right?
Oh, God, I know. Karate. And my favorite, have you seen this one's favorite, the new style Ninja Tortoises?
No.
Yeah, so they're like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it just says tortoise on it. You guys are the best out there.
There was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ripoff called Adolescent Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters.
I love that. Oh, I love that. That's a great name for a band. Right? If you think about it. So
Black Belt Hamsters.
Black Belt Hamsters. I love Karate Farmer. That is also another great name for a band. Coming up on the Karate Farmer and Black Belt Hamster show, we got a lot of stuff to get to, including one of the escaped guys from Louisiana. He has a message for the president, and he put it on video, so that's always interesting. Talk about that, bunch of other stuff straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Rough Greens, RUFFgreens.com, vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9, all of this incredible stuff packed into an amazing supplement you give your dog on a daily basis. Your dog going to love it. Love the taste. You'll love what it does for him. First, 1 scoop a day will go so far. It's going to help your dog when it comes to their digestive tract. It's going to help your dog when it comes to their heart health, their energy, their aches and pains in their joints. It's going to help them in so many ways, and it's going to help you too. Healthier the dog, the less time you spend at the vet, the less money you spend, that's great, and the happier you are. That's the beauty of Rough Greens. Over 1 million dogs have trusted Rough Greens. You should as well. Try a Jumpstart trial bag, a $20 value today for free. All they ask you to do is cover the cost of shipping. Go to roughgreens.com/Chad. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. Roughgreens.com/Chad.
All right, drivers in Belmont, we've got a crash with the off-ramp partially blocked 440 eastbound to Hillsborough Pike, and then a stalled vehicle on the left shoulder 65 northbound near the Hogan Road overpass. We've also got an update on that plan to garnish Social Security benefits for student loan defaulters. We'll tell you about it at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yeah, this video, this story has all taken another twist and another turn. First, there was that escape that everyone sort of scratched their head at because they're still trying to figure out how the men got through that hole inside that jail. But at the same time, this video does give some context clues in terms of maybe where he is. Maybe they're trying to track the cell phone. Maybe they're trying to track the account. These are all things that they have been doing. And for the past 18 days, we've been calling our sources across 4 different states to ask what's going on with this search. Antoine Massey looked directly into the camera. He basically said, hey, I'm innocent, but look, let's just take a listen and see what he says himself.
So this is one of the escapees, and he's got a message.
You know what I'm saying? When I get back in custody, I'm asking y'all please to come and help. You feel what I'm saying? I'm asking the world. So I'm letting y'all know I'm not a raper man. I'm not none of that. None of that. I'm a good person. My name is Antoine Massey. I'm asking for help. I was one of the ones that was let out Orleans Parish Jail on May the 16th or May the 15th, 2025. So please, Meek Mills, Donald Trump, Lil Wayne, please help me.
Help me, Obi-Wan. You're the only hope. So that's one. That guy went online and posted that. And now he has 480,000 followers. I don't know. But it's just, he's not a raper man. That's what he's saying. Just want you guys to know that. He's not a raper man. The cojones to go and do that. 18 days. He's got to be running out of places to stay. Don't you think? Because everybody you know has to have a cop near you waiting for you to show up.
So you see how that has been put together at this point, and he's begging for someone to help him. Now, one of the things he claims in this video is that he's being held on a charge that should have gone away right now. He actually is holding an affidavit, and he's saying that, look, I've been cleared of this crime. You can hold me on this one. But it goes into that conversation there. Let's not forget the reward has been raised at $50,000 in connection with tips to find and capture this man. The Orleans Parish posted on Facebook that they are aware of the video and they hope that Massey turns himself in. It doesn't seem like he's ready to do that yet. As you look at the video screen next to me, you can see all the people who have been captured so far. Groves is still on the run. One of the things we talked to investigators about is they believe that these two men, Groves and Massey, would not get on the internet and they would be smart enough to sort of avoid a digital footprint. It seems like Massey, who's escaped before, wanted to get his message out there, and he's done that at this point.
Wait, he escaped before? Really? It's the best you guys could do? Yeah, he's already been out there before. He gets away. And then there's another guy that's missing too. He's a sheriff, if I'm correct. That's just an awful person. But he escaped from a different jail. This is going on way too much. Is what we're getting at here. So not good. Not good at all. But he's out there and he wants you guys to know that Lil Wayne and the Donald may help him get out. Meanwhile,
the family is being, we understand, processed right now for expedited removal out of the U.S. Remember, Solomon, we know, was in the country illegally, overstayed a work visa. It would seem his family probably was in the country illegally as well, that they are now in custody and getting ready for removal from the U.S.
That right there, my buddy Alex Stone, who, by the way, is a great guy. So the guy that tried to kill a bunch of people at the march the other day for Israel and the hostages, his family's now been taken into custody, and his daughter just graduated high school, and now they are on a fast track. Hey, guess what, guys? Your dad's going to stay for a while, but we're going to have to ask you to leave. So there's that.
You can tune into the trial on TV.
That's right. Oh, my Lord. Still looking at all the great, horrible toys that are out there, the worst ripoff toys. People are sending me stuff. How about Robert Cop 2? It's supposed to be RoboCop, but it's Robert Cop. These are bootleg toys.
Robert Cobb.
This one, okay, there's one of Godzilla in like a plastic. So you go to the store and you're a kid and they'd be in the little plastic, like you get a little gun or something. This one is Godzilla and it just says, big fella.
Big.
Hey, what are you guys doing? I'm going to go watch Big Fella.
Big ape versus big fella.
Big ape versus big fella. E3PO. And it is a E.T., but he's golden.
Oh.
Nice.
That is. Oh, these. I love these things. I could look at these all day.
Big fella.
What's up, big fella? Oh, here's one. Hombre especial. And it's Darth Vader, but he's got like a red vest on. Hombre especial. I love it, everybody. Coming up, a lot of other good stuff to get to. Oh, there's fake chips, too. Prongles.
Prongles.
See if you can guess what kind of chips those are. Hey, I'll see you later, guys. I'm going to go get some Dr. Thunder and some Prongles.
And some cocked up.
Oh, that's right.
Gonna get all cocked up on Prongles?
From my
Dr. Thunder.
the Jeff Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7.
1:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. And right now in Middle Tennessee, bad news for nearly 700 employees of a tire plant in Laverne. That major employer, Bridgestone Americas, announcing in January they'd be closing down this summer. Well, today they said that's going to happen on July 31st, meaning 658 people will lose their jobs. Elon Musk speaking out on the Trump spending bill. He posted to X, it is a, quote, disgusting abomination. Musk says it's pork-filled, and shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Karen Travers has more from the White House, where President Trump's talking to Republican holdouts.
The president is doing that personal outreach with phone calls and in-person meetings that will continue likely over the next couple of weeks. He has set that July 4th deadline for the Senate to pass this, get it back to the House, have the House pass it, and then get it to the president's desk for his signature. That is a very ambitious timeline.
Money news. Trump administration pausing its plan to garnish Social Security benefits for those who've defaulted on their student loans. More than 450,000 federal student loan borrowers aged 62 and older are in default on their federal student loans, likely to be receiving Social Security benefits, according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. But people's wages still at risk for collection efforts later this summer. And one of our allies has a new president.
South Korea has elected Lee Jae-myung as president, marking a sharp political shift after the impeachment of former President Yoon Suk-yeol. Lee, 61, is a populist liberal pushing for closer ties with China and North Korea and warning that Seoul should not be unilaterally bound to U.S. strategy. He warned that President Trump's trade tariffs were dangerous and said countries should push back collectively. Ju Hee-cho, ABC News, Seoul, South Korea.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Beacon Capital Management. Your retirement ready toolkit is, well, it says it right there, ready for you. Are you near retirement? Are you in retirement? Are you worried about the nuts and bolts, the dollars, the cents? Let Beacon help you with that. What makes Beacon unique? First and foremost, local, great, go talk to them. Secondly, they want to take care of everything. They want to be your full service investment advisor. That includes things like tax planning, estate planning, even health care, as well as the dollars and cents. So get a retirement ready toolkit today. It's not going to cost you anything, but a phone call, 615-488-9303, You're going to get a Money Enough for Life book, a retirement planning checklist, and a Maximizing Your Retirement Income white paper. No cost, no obligation, no pressure. So if you're worried about all of the things and not just one of the things, let our good friends over at Beacon help you with that. Call them today, 615-488-9303, or online at askbeaconnow.com. A lot of you chiming in. Some of you mad at Elon Musk. How dare he? Others are going, oh, man, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe it didn't happen sooner. Those two fighting with each other. You can't have egos that big, am I right? And not think they're going to clash. If Godzilla and King Kong are in the same vicinity, at some point in time, you would expect they may meet and clash. And that's kind of what happened. Doesn't mean they can't rejoin forces later on down the road. But at this point in time, Elon's right. This thing is a big, ugly, stinky bill. So, Ken, we were talking about it earlier. The height thing.
Yeah.
Short kings are done. Tinder's testing a height filter, and devastated users say it's over for short men.
That's it for little fellas.
That's it for the little fellas. So you can go in and obviously your age range and the whole 9 yards, but then you can do a height and it says any height down to whatever. And so the average woman's going to pick probably at least 5'11" or 6 foot, which is going to ruin everything.
Especially for little fellas.
For the little fellas. For them little guys. Oh, you little guys.
Yeah, but what if you just embellish a little bit?
Well, that's
they going to be able to figure that out?
What if you wore the shoes, the platform shoes?
Yeah.
What if you did that?
Start wearing boots.
Yeah, it's over for short men. What are they going to do now? People are. You know what? Get over it. Just like people, when did you start to lose your hair?
I never lost my hair.
You shave it like me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best, right?
I mean, it's receding. Like it's gone way back on my forehead, further than it ever had. I would say in my mid-40s.
But you were getting up early, and you're like, I don't want to deal with this.
I've never even thought about it.
I didn't care.
I didn't either, man.
I mean, go look at what it says. Women like dudes who are bald. I've always laughed at like the hair stuff. I'm like, you want because the toupees never look real.
No.
Why is it when you go get new hair plugs, you got to go into a pool to show everybody, look at my hair plugs. Look at these things. These things are fantastic. So what's considered short? That's a good question.
I guarantee you I'm short.
Okay.
I'm 5'6".
All right. So the basic filter starts you out at 5'7". So you would be.
I'm definitely short. I'm a real little fella.
So, but then I asked the question earlier, and I think it's a fair one. Do guys get to go ask questions about what you really look like without your filter and makeup? Or, we all know what you can do with those filters. We all know what you can do. Okay? So you tell me you go 140, but you go 2.5 bills? Shouldn't I be able to question that? I think it's a fair swap. If we're going to be this, and I love watching those women that do those man on the streets. Girl rolls up, she goes, 250, she's 5'2". She's like, I want somebody 6'3" who makes $14 million a year. It's what I deserve. No, Cinderella. It's not.
Cinderella.
Oh, goodness me. Somebody says, you guys are having too much fun. Ron DeSantis.
No such thing as too much fun.
Yeah, he was a short guy. He was just a little guy.
Ron DeSantis?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because there was a thing that people said he was using, elevated shoes.
Yes. Kash Patel, you weren't here last week with the Kash Patel memes. But Fox apparently put him in the middle of a high school gymnasium and put him in the largest throne they could find where his feet dangled down like he's a 4-year-old. Like he was wearing his dad's suit. And like, do you know where Epstein's stuff is? Oh, my Lord. I just find it, again, in a time where, how vapid is that? But I've met women that, they only want to date somebody 6 foot. If that's the standards that you have and that you want, that's totally fine. But I've always been fascinated by people that are so ridiculous about what they think. That may be what you want. Okay, but let's come back to reality. Okay? And, it's like, I think I deserve somebody who makes $450,000 a day. There was a study out of Chicago, University of Chicago, Illinois, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, that for women will date somebody. So if you make $100,000 and a guy and you're 5'7", and a guy or 5'6", 5'5", and a guy makes $60,000, but he's 6 foot, they'll date the 6 foot guy. But once you start getting towards that $400,000 range, they don't really care. You could have no legs and they wouldn't care. You get to a certain level.
In fact, they prefer your health to be pretty off.
Pretty off. Old. So, but it was just interesting to see how the money added looks like, so for every $100,000, it added an inch or two to your height, essentially, as far as that balances out, which I find fascinating. Somebody said, that's right, no fat chicks. I don't say stuff like that. So I am 5'5", my woman is 5'8". Rocket, man. Oh, yeah, look at that guy, man. She's hot. Well done. Well done, sir.
I'm 6'1". I dated a girl that was 6'2".
Nice.
Every girl I ever dated outside of a few were taller than me. But, that's not saying much.
Well, you have to really look for someone shorter.
The tallest I've ever been was 5'8". I've just been shrinking ever since
Wait, you were
high
taller?
school. Yeah, I was 5'8".
Why are you shrinking?
I don't know.
Age.
I thought that didn't happen until you were older.
I don't know, man.
You're not that old.
He's pretty old.
I smoked cigarettes whenever I was, 8,
studied
9.
your growth.
Yeah. Maybe that did. Maybe that's true.
So the whole thing is interesting. Like I say, I find this stuff because when we talk about all the stuff that we should be worried about in this country, dating is one of them. And we have made dating this game now where women won't date below, men have to have this. It's just, and now it's like the filter, and they're getting some feedback from both sides, and women are happy. But the problem is the women are competing for, 90% of the women are competing for 10% of the men. And on the other side of it, you've got 10% of the women who are fine with a group of guys that, it's going to be a battle. That's why have you seen people that get leg lengthening, sir? Have you seen that?
No.
So this is a big thing that has happened over the last several years. And I think it's about $300,000. And I did a big story on it a couple of years ago in Vegas. This guy, he went from 5'7" to like 6'1". It is 3 months of hell. So they lengthen your legs, and every day it's like a millimeter. They twist them. They do all these massive surgeries. But the weird thing is, okay, so you've added 4 inches on your legs, but your torso didn't get any bigger. Now you look weird. You look like Gumby. But they asked guys, and they said I wouldn't change it for the world if you get through. But it's several months of horrific recovery. They said it's like the worst pain you've ever felt because so they go and they open you up and they cut your bones and they add stuff. And then what they do is they fuse them. And then every day you've got to make like a little turn to strengthen it and lengthen it. Strengthen and lengthen. My goodness me. Long-term listener here. Since the day of Ralph Emery, seems like every show is a Chuck Fest for you two. That includes none of your audience. That's sad to see. He's not a happy camper. Ralph Emery. I wasn't here for Ralph. Were you here for Ralph?
Ralph's a famous local personality who's been on radio and TV. He was on for years. Very well known in the country side of the industry.
Yeah, I've heard of him. I didn't know he was on here.
No, I wasn't on. I don't think he was ever on here. Was he, Ken?
I don't know, man. I've only been here 10 years.
Yeah, Ralph. I don't think Ralph was on the.
Say one of those.
Ralph.
ones?
I think he's talking about Ralph Bristol. Remember,
Maybe.
Ralph was. He was a morning. He was. I worked with him in the mornings whenever I first got here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good guy. Good guy, Ralph.
So, well, this guy's not happy with us laughing. So let's be serious. Sir, what do you think a size ratio would be for a lady to a man? What's a good age range? That's the other thing.
Yeah, age
They got to
is
be
big.
at least 40.
So, for you to date?
Yeah, because younger. You start getting younger than that, and I mean, I'd give it some flexibility depending on their maturity level. But at my age, I'd prefer the woman to be at least 40.
Yeah. Age is a big factor. Like if you're having fun, younger doesn't matter, right? You're having fun, unless you're Bill Belichick, where you decided, hey, I think I'm going to marry one of my granddaughter's friends. But, which I'm totally fine with. The whole Bill Belichick thing, I don't care that he wants to spend his money on a 24-year-old. You've won championships. Let's just leave him be.
I don't want to date a woman that never saw MASH in its first run.
No, I don't either. Ralph Bristol? Who's Ralph Bristol?
Yeah, he was the morning show host whenever I got here in 2015.
Okay. And did he retire?
Yep. I believe he's retired now.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't remember. Ralph Emery, I'm like, isn't that the guy that used to host like CMT Nights or one of those?
Yeah, he was a country
guy.
Yeah, country guy, country music fella.
Okay, there we go. See, I was like, Ralph Emery was here? He's like, yes, and we talked about country stuff. I'll tell you that right now. The dating thing, I'm glad I'm not in the dating world today because it is there's so many, like the ick. What gives you the ick? Because when you get older, the ick goes away, right? When you're 25, you have the ick. When you're 42 and you're divorced with 2 kids, right, and a mortgage, and you're barely getting by, your ick starts to go down really fast. I want him to not be a felon, or at least a 2-time felon. And that's unfortunate.
You get a pass on the first felony. The second one, though.
Yes. Let's see here. MASH. They got that on Hulu nowadays. I remember MASH. Goodness me. What? She just died the other day. Loretta Swit.
Yep.
Hot lips. Hot lips. Older, younger, older, younger, older, younger. What would you prefer? If you're dating, Again, if you're looking for love, you want somebody in and around your area. You don't want somebody who's going to want to party all the time. You know that, right? Come on now, people. Coming up, a lot of stuff to get to. Yes, some serious stuff. Elon, Trump, the love affair seems to be struggling. It's on life support. We'll talk a little bit about that. Got a bunch of other stuff to get to as well. We got a bagpiper getting attacked by a Karen. Why do you got to mess with the pipers? Piper down. There's a piper down. What a great movie. You remember that movie? Anybody? With, So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen that movie. I can't even quote it anymore.
Mike Myers. Has he done any Diddy stuff? Have they called him anything?
Not that I've seen yet.
Not that I've seen.
Hey,
So-
trial's not over.
No, it's not. Trump could never. I just want to say that. He would. As bad as this bill is, if you went and pardoned Diddy, that's worse. That's my take on that one. That's way worse. If you're missing the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast because we do chuckle a lot. We have a lot of fun. That's kind of what we do. It's the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Bullwork Capital. Why don't you call my buddies over there, 866-779-RISK. Talk to them today about what they can do for you and your investments, whether you're in retirement or maybe you're just really getting into investing. You got a little bit of money and you're thinking to yourself, I want to make this go in the right direction. What they're going to do is give you a second opinion. It's a Know Your Risk portfolio review from the doors, they call it, the Department of Retirement Efficiency, making sure that your retirement is moving in the way that you are moving. So many people out there have cookie cutter retirements. Somebody puts them in stuff and just turns and just let's see what happens over the next several years. That's not Bullwork. They're going to show you about the things that may be going on in your account, from hidden fees to uncover the risk that you may be at, which includes the fact that at your age, you should be maybe trying to grow it a little bit faster, or maybe if you're older, you should be maybe watching out for it. So get a second opinion today from our friends over at Bullwork Capital. You can sign up by going to knowyourriskpodcast.com. That's knowyourriskpodcast.com. Or call 866-779-RISK today. Investment advisory service offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Investment involved risk, not a guarantee. Past performance, not guarantee future results. Check 25217.
The wife and children of the Boulder, Colorado flamethrower attack is now in custody. We'll tell you about that at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I got something for you, Ken.
Let's hear it.
It's an angry youngster.
So I was just out for a walk in Madison, Tennessee. Just out in the country hills, going for a walk by myself, looking like this.
She was in shorts and a t-shirt.
And several big trucks, because, you know, these countrymen love their big trucks hauling nothing, drove past, no problem until one got up right next to me and decided to gun it. And he had a muffler, and it sounded like gunshots. It was terrifying. I threw the guy the finger, called him an asshole. He kept driving. Guess what?
What?
I got in my car and I chased him down.
No.
And I found out where he lives.
And
I made sure he knows I know where he lives. If you're going to scare me, I'm going to show you what it's like to be scared. Women, don't back down. Don't smile. Don't f***ing back down. If they're giving you trauma, hand it back to them. These men.
Yeah.
All right, little lady.
Hey, trauma. Right.
I wonder
back
if
to him.
she's single.
I'm going to say yes. Yes, she's very single.
Because you know how these country guys like trucks.
Guys working with stuff.
Hauling nothing.
Hauling nothing but tools. That's just for looks. You and your tools, boy. What is she like? And I went over to his house. And what did you do? I showed him.
Yeah.
I scared him saying, I'll date you.
Boy.
What?
Yeah.
This is what happens. Play a stupid game, win a stupid prize. And you know what's funny? Chances are, I could be wrong. And if this is you out there that scared this young lady, shame. If you did it on purpose, they probably didn't even notice you in their big trucks. Because they're so high in the air in their big trucks, Belle.
Them big old trucks.
Big ones. Ginormous trucks. Tell you what. Mm-hmm. God. This is why nobody's dating anymore. This is the problem right here, guys. It's women like that and guys in their big old trucks. The Amish have it right. They don't have cell phones. It's the Mennonites that have cell phones. By Mennonite. They have cell phones. They kind of get it. It's just enough technology, but not too much. That's what you want. That's what you want.
Moderation.
And that's right. Do you think they have on their, some of you who may have been Amish, do you guys have big tires on your buggies? Here comes Abraham with his big old tires on his big old buggy.
I'm going to follow him home.
He's got a full-grown beard.
I'm going to
Has
scare
a draft horse pulling his wagon.
That's right. That's great, lad. That's great. Coming up next hour, we got other stuff. Oh, controversy around Mount Everest. So, this new thing happened, and it's really weird. I mean, should I do it? Should I not do it? Should we send Ken? It's this or FatCon. I'm going with FatCon.
Do them both.
Or we could scale one of them. They're
Which
big.
one do you think will have more dead bodies at the end of FatCon?
He made a fat joke right there, which will get yelled at tomorrow. That's not very nice, is it, Belle? It's kind of funny, though. I'll tell you that right now. Coming up, hour number 3 of the program. You miss any of the show? Shame on you. Grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7.
Two o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got a crash reported by the airport 40 eastbound right after Donaldson Pike. That'll be exit to 216B. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Well, the wife and children of the suspect in this weekend's Colorado attack have been taken into custody by ICE and Homeland Security. Homeland Security investigations in Colorado. Here's Alex Stone.
The family is being, we understand, processed right now for expedited removal out of the U.S. Remember, Solomon, we know, was in the country illegally, overstayed a work visa. It would seem his family probably was in the country illegally as well, that they are now in custody and getting ready for removal from the U.S.
Elon Musk calls the Trump tax bill a, quote, disgusting abomination. Musk posting to X, it's pork-filled and shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Well, meanwhile, Karen Travers at the White House, she says President Trump's been talking to Republican senators who don't like it either.
He is trying to make a personal appeal to several of them by reaching out directly. We know he met with Senator Rick Scott of Florida. He was on the phone with Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri. And we are getting word that he's also talked to Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, who has been very critical of this legislation.
Right now in Middle Tennessee, a major employer has given us the date for when it's going to shut down and leave nearly 700 people without jobs. Bridgestone America's Tires announced back in January they'd be closing down the plant in Laverne this summer, and today we've learned that day will be July 31st. 658 people will lose their jobs. Student loan debt update. Garnishment of Social Security benefits for student loan borrowers who have defaulted has been temporarily paused by the Trump administration, but you could still get your wages garnished. A federal health official is vowing to overhaul the U.S. food supply. They're taking a new look at infant formula. That's Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is directing the Food and Drug Administration to review the nutrients and other ingredients in infant formula dubbed Operation Stork Speed. It's the first deep look at the ingredients since 1998. Kennedy says it's to make sure infant formula products are safe and wholesome for the families and children who rely on them. And testimony continues in the trial for a woman in Australia accused of murder when 3 people died after eating poisonous mushrooms.
Australia's alleged mushroom poisoner, Erin Patterson, took the stand for a second day to give evidence at her triple murder trial. Patterson has pleaded not guilty to the murder of 3 relatives and the attempted murder of another after serving them death-capped mushrooms at her home in July 2023. Patterson on Tuesday told the jury she picked and ate wild mushrooms several years before the lunch, saying she developed this hobby for foraging during COVID. She told the court she bought most of the ingredients for the deadly lunch at a local supermarket, and some were purchased from an Asian grocer in Melbourne. Britt Clennett, ABC News, Hong Kong.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Yeah. It's evil. It's a fat bill. It's a bloated bill. It's a massively fat, disgusting bill. I agree. I am not thrilled by what Trump wants to roll out. I don't think we should be thrilled by it. I think this is nasty with the amount of... I just... Look, Republicans and Democrats, don't blow smoke, okay? Because it's ridiculous. This bill's huge. It's not going to be great. Now, I don't know what it looks like when the Senate rewrites it, and they're going to. But the reality is it's putting a ton more debt onto us. But with the way that things will work out and how stuff will go this way, and then this is going to be good, I'm sorry, I don't believe it. No offense. I don't. Steve Portnoy. I got to turn on the thing because that's the way that works.
Ramping up his criticism of the GOP's One Big Beautiful Bill, Elon Musk now says it's massive, outrageous, pork-filled, and a disgusting abomination. Congressional Republicans have set their own July 4th deadline to get the measure through the Senate and back through the House if any changes are made in the upper chamber. The White House shrugs off Musk's stepped-up criticism, saying the president has known where Musk has stood on the bill.
Which is pass it or else? You guys are all in trouble? Even if it, you want tax cuts that so bad? Oh, yeah, we need this tax cuts. Okay. Why aren't we allowing the tax cuts to sunset for the wealthy if it helps pay for stuff? Why aren't we doing that? Give more to the middle class. I got zero problems with that. You're winning so much of this. Don't lose it. And you promised you were going to cut. You promised you're going to you cut squadoosh. And he's going to come out and say, well, Elon sucked. He didn't get anything done. I'm just kind of running around figuring this is what he's going to say. I think you said it earlier, Ken. By the end of the day, they'll be fighting. By the end of the week, they'll throw each other to the bus again. This isn't pretty. $5 trillion over the next couple of years, and over the 10 years, who knows what it looks like, because eventually Trump won't be there. What's the next president want, whether it's a Republican or Democrat? What does some of this stuff looks like? Then they take it away or add to it. I don't know. But what I do know is this ain't it. And I never expect them to get to zero, right? Like we're carbon neutral. I don't expect any of that. What I expect, though, is it not to be so bloated. And we'll see. We'll see what it looks like at the end of the day. The Colorado attacker, his entire family's in custody, and they're gone. They're going to be gone. They're fast-tracking him. Like at Disneyland, they got a fast track. You're out of here. He's going to be sticking around a while because he's got a lot of charges. He faces forever in jail. I forgot how many years they were talking about. 300-plus years in jail. Let's just put it this way. He's not leaving anytime soon. They may be going. I don't know where they're from. Apparently he had a wife and 5 kids. He waited till his daughter graduated high school to do this. And he wanted, first of all, let's just say, for the sake of argument, they knew nothing about this. You wanted to go out and do this and know that your family was going to be, what did you think was going to happen? People were going to celebrate your family? They're going to kick them out of here so fast. Besides the fact that you are a clown and you couldn't get a gun when you tried to. It's just, and, having the conversation, the whole thing about Israel, and I had a great conversation with somebody last night on the interwebs, which normally, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if you guys have ever been on the internet. This is a place that at times can be not very friendly. And we had a cordial conversation back and forth about the whole Palestine-Israel battle that's going, because it's Hamas. Let's be real. It's Israel. It's IDF and Israel versus Hamas. And we had a good conversation. And there is no solving this problem by killing people in D.C. or trying to light people on fire in Boulder, Colorado. One of them was a Holocaust survivor. Who would have thought, those many years ago, when you survived the Holocaust, as your family was put to death, that you would be potentially lit on fire at a rally because they still ate the Jews many decades later, in Boulder, Colorado, where Mork and Mindy were. That's right. He was in Boulder, I think. I'm correct. Mark,
how did you get from Milwaukee to Boulder?
That's where he was.
Mork. He started on Happy Days, and that was in Milwaukee.
Yeah, well, he was very busy because he met Pam Dauber.
Oh, okay.
That's how. He fell in love. That happens. So who would have thought that? Like, that's, and so we're at this point now where you're not solving the issue. The Palestine conflict, this isn't being solved in the way that it's been in the past, which is just, we'll bomb them till there's nothing left. We'll kill anybody over the age of whatever. And then what happens is the young grow up with zero hope, zero opportunity. They stew, and it becomes a absolute haven for people to hate people on the other side. And so this has got to be done in a different way. And it isn't going to change. I mean, how many times I'm 54. Bell, you're 72. Ken's 33. That's on his dating profile. He's also 6'8", which, boy, they're going to be shocked. But since I was a kid, I don't know how many of these conflicts I've seen between Israel and Palestine, or because the other countries have kind of given up the ghost because they're sick and getting their ass handed to them by Israel. So, but Palestine, it's there. And what do we do? Well, I'll tell you what we don't do. Nothing. And we got to get the rest of the world to have a buy-in on it. It just can't be us. But if the goal is to stop it, you got to deal with people that are outside of Palestine, that the powers that be that aren't America and the West, but the Gulf states, pick some people that can be the de facto leaders for Palestine and only deal with them and get them to start leading, even if at first it's outside of there, and helping them push forward so they have something. Because otherwise, we're just going to be here going, okay, they're going to kill 40,000 and then they're going to do that. It's just, it's never ending. It's never ending. And the goal, I think, should be to end it. Speaking of never ending, illegal immigration. Earlier today, they were talking about who's going to pick the crops. That's a good question, right? I mean, because that is a good question.
I want to bring it back to the way you began your briefing, talking about the president's mass deportation program and his priorities. 40% of crop farm workers in the U.S. are undocumented, and that's according to the Agriculture Department. Do they have a carve-out in terms of the president's mass deportation program?
The president and the Trump administration have been very clear. If you are in the country illegally, you are subject to deportation.
Is there any concern?
Okay, so you're here illegally. We get it. You're subject to deportation. Okay, that we understand. The question is, we all say that, but we're not going to pick the crops. So is there a carve out for those?
Is there any concern that, given that large number, if that number is correct, 40% of crop farm workers being undocumented, that could impact the food supply here in America if those individuals that obviously help pick crops all across the country are deported en masse?
Again, this administration is focused on deporting individuals who are in our country illegally. It's something we have to do. We cannot allow the previous administration's invasion of our country of illegal immigrants to continue. We just can't have it. And this is a law and order president. As for our farmers and their concerns, they have a president who has their backs and listens to their concerns and hears them. But we also have a legal pathway to come to this country and work specifically for agricultural work. So there's a legal way to do it, and we encourage that legal pathway, and we're currently working on strengthening our legal immigration system for that reason.
And it's all you got to show people, because we all scream and yell, yeah, get everybody out of here. And they're like, who's going to pick the crops? Well, Americans will do it. Are you going to do it? No, I'm not going to do it. Well, why wouldn't you do it? I mean, because it sounds great. Let's get to the world of reality. So I was talking to a new buddy of mine here locally, and he is having any trouble finding people that will work at all. And he goes, doesn't matter what I offer him, pay him at the end of the day. Doesn't matter how much I offer them. By the way, damn good wages. I mean, it was like, whoa. And he's like, I can't get anybody to come to work. They're like, you want me there when? So all of these things sound great, but first of all, are we going to really deport? And I came from an agriculture area. I was telling, Chris and I were having a long conversation about this during the crossover before, while we were at break. And where I lived, very agriculture-wise, because I lived in the middle, when I was in Arizona, in the middle of we used to call it the Valley of the Dirt People. So wheat and cotton, dates and all those kind of things. I would talk to my buddies, and they're like, dude, I couldn't get anybody to come out here and pick this. And they got the giant school buses out there and the water, and the guys are out there, and the gals are out there picking all day. And it's, when you live in an area like that, it's different than you living in a big city. And so, yeah, we got some questions about some of these things and how fast can, you turn it over where, all right, you got to leave, you fill out this paperwork, you come immediately back. What are the farmers going to have to say about this? Which is also a big question. Because while we want legal immigration, we need the immigration, by the way, we need it fixed across the board. We need it absolutely fixed, not just the deportation, but, okay, what do we do going forward? Asylum. I think there's a filing fee now for asylum that could be upwards of $1,000. Now, I don't know what it looks like when all is said and done, because the powers that be of the Senate are going to have their say with a lot of this stuff. But we have to figure out what's the path going forward. How fast? How hard is it going to be? What do businesses have to do to sponsor to get people to come over here? What kind of waiting time is there going to be? Those are all questions that, it's the unforeseen circumstances that if we start doing some of these things, how do we do it in a orderly way where, yes, we get people to try as hard as we can to get them back across, especially in a thing like agriculture, where it's like 40% of agriculture workers are here illegally. And I go, did you not interview the other 60%? So that's like, because we all say, oh, we'll get an American to do it, or somebody will have to do it. Oh, well, what are you going to force somebody to do it? Hell, you can't force kids to do just about anything nowadays, let alone some adults. So this will be interesting, all of this debate about, okay, now we all agree we want all the bad ones out of here and want everybody to go over there, fill out their paperwork and come back. But how fast does that take? And if you're a farmer and you lost all of your crew today and you couldn't get another crew, I mean, if you're a farmer out there, what would you do? How does that work? So this will be interesting to see how this plays itself out. You reach out to us across all of our social media. We're on Twitch. Yeah. I've still not been to Twitch to look at that. What's up, Twitch? I'm waving at Twitch people. What's up? We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Hey, Meta. Excuse me, I said Facebook. Hi, Meta people. And yes, we're on the Twitter as well, /X. We've got more crazy audio that makes Ken smile. Plus, Everest. What the hell's going on there? Somebody asked if it was racist. It's not. But I do have some questions about Everest. We will talk about that. Reach out to us across social media. We'd love to hear from all of you. Text the program. Bell, tell them how they text the damn program.
615-737-9986.
There you go. Text us right now. We love hearing from you. It is Chad Benson, Super Talk 997. Rough Greens, ruffgreens.com. Vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9, all this incredible stuff packed into an amazing supplement that you give your dog on a daily basis. Your dog's going to love it. My dogs love the taste, and I love what it does for them. You know what? They're never sick. They're happy. They're bouncy. We took them to the vet when they were young, obviously get their shot. They got fixed, the whole 9 yards. And since then, they've never been back because there's no reason, because they're healthy, and I love that. This is why you need it. Dog food is dead food. And this brings your dog food to life. It gives them the nutrients and things your dog food is missing. It's one scoop a day. It's going to change your dog's life big time. It's going to help you, too, because it saves you money when it comes to things like the vet. So what are you waiting for? Try a Jumpstart trial bag of Rough Greens for free. All they ask you to do is cover the cost of shipping. It's a $20 value. You cover the cost of shipping, just a few bucks. See what can happen. or uffgreens.com/Chad, roughgreens.com/Chad, roughgreens.com/Chad.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
PrizePicks. Opportunity to win is still there. Up to 2,000 times your money. And great things like today. Discounts 15, 25%. Because, yeah, it's Taco Tuesday, baby. So run at it with PrizePicks. So why PrizePicks? First of all, it's easy. You download the app, use my code Chad, and what do you get? $50 immediately when you play your first $5 lineup. Lineups like this, more or less. So you pick a player, whether it's basketball, hockey, whatever it is, soccer, you name it, and you're playing on their stats. More goals, more strikeouts, more home runs, more points, rebounds, assists. It's that simple. The minute you play your first $5 lineup, but only when you use my code Chad, you get a $50 bonus, win or lose your first time. You can win up to 2,000 times your money. So what are you waiting for? It's fun, it's easy, and I think you'll start winning today, especially when you use my code Chad. Download the app now for PrizePicks. PrizePicks, run your game. Must be 21, present Tennessee. Gambling problem, call 1-800-426-2537.
Now, some members of Congress have some words for Elon Musk, who calls Trump's tax bill a disgusting abomination. That's coming up at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
WTN, guys, guess what? It's a different kind of Pride Month for this lady.
Happy first day of Pride. For this year, I made a new Pride flag. It's for unemployment Pride. If you would like to buy a sticker, link it in the bio, and then drop your letterbox top 4 in the comments. Have a great, happy, safe Pride, everybody.
Unemployment Pride. Don't do that. Don't have unemployment pride. That's not a good pride to have. Remember when that was shameful?
Yeah.
When I was a kid growing up, it's like, don't tell anybody your dad lost his job, right? What didn't you talk? You never asked how old a woman was. You never, ever, ever asked somebody how much money they made. I mean, people go, did you hear so-and-so's got the big C? Like, you wouldn't talk about that, right? Like, and a job. Oh, my, if your dad lost their job, my dad always lost job, but it didn't really matter. My dad had a lot of weird ways of making money. Like, dad's gone for like 4 weeks and come back and here's $10,000 cash, and they disappear again. And was feast or famine. We were broke most of the time. We never asked, you know. So we always hoped he was on a good stretch of gambling when he was around your birthday or Christmas. Because like, son, guess what you got for Christmas? What? You got a jukebox. I'm 8, Dad. I won in a game. Deal with it. Why does it have blood on it? But we've taken away the kind of shame that went with some of this stuff. Even food stamps. My mom used food stamps. You know what they used to be? Stamps. Like coupons. Where you'd have to take them out, right?
Those little green stamps.
Yeah, you have to give them to them. And people start looking at you and you're like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Now it's like, it's a card and it gets loaded every month. It's not the same because it looks just like anything else, so you wouldn't know. And that's so frustrating because there was a sense of, and it's like unemployment pride. That is, don't do that. Several of you have chimed in as we've talked about the food. Somebody's like, we should start. If you're really worried about the cost of food going up, you should plant a garden. I don't want to pick crops, so why would I want to plant a garden?
Plus, where the hell are you going to plant a garden?
Yeah, well, I can't anywhere. Although my wife, she tries to plant one of those mini gardens, puts it by the window, and then my cat comes over, and then he's high for an hour because he eats everything. He's like, dude, I had so many onions. I should probably go to therapy. I should. Yeah, some of you are also, though, agree. Like, get prisoners to pick. It's not going to happen. What, I mean, yeah, and they do in some areas, right? By the way, they do in certain areas. They work in certain ways outside of the jails. We have an issue right now with some prisons, so let's just, and I understand that, right? Like, get them to pick. And trust me, you don't think that they would want a bunch of guys that are working for a nickel an hour? They probably would. But that's just, I mean, the liability, the states aren't going to be able to do that. And you're still not going to be able to have enough people. I don't think you realize how many farm workers are. And somebody just said, Chad, I got to agree with you about, which is odd that when we talk about this. Yesterday, there was a roofing career last week in Williamson County. It was snatched with the roof torn off and left wide open. And I'm a general contractor. There's no white people knocking on my door to go hard manual labor. How do you replace them when they're snatched up? It's a tough thing, man. I mean, it's a tough thing. You drive by a roofing crew, you see a lot of dudes out there, a lot of white guys, no, probably not. You don't. You may see one once in a while, but usually he's running the crew. So can we just be honest about it? Like, it all sounds good until it lands there and you go, okay, well, we got to figure something out. And we shall see. Coming up, guys, we're going to talk about Mount Everest. So you know our dream here. We've been talking about it for a while. Belle has started training hardcore for it. After we go to FatCon, which I'm pretty excited about. It's going to be great. 3 days, 4 days, whatever we're going to be in Seattle, seeing the sights and the sounds of large, fat people roaming around. Nutritional overachievers, people of size, things like that. Then we're going to think about our next opportunity. And if we've got a few days, maybe we can go scale Mount Everest. Because is this cheating? A group of people have gone and scaled Everest in a very short period of time.
You can go up Everest. I'll meet you back at base camp.
You're the one we've designated. First of all, you have no head, so it doesn't really matter for you. Ken and I are beautiful. You, on the other hand, you have no head.
We'd suffocate.
We would, because we're so tall. Like, Ken is so tall. Like, what are we going to do with it at that point in time? So we'll talk about Everest straight ahead. Don't go anywhere. It is Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
2:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Seeing a crash over by the airport. Metro Police reporting this 40 eastbound after the Donaldson Pike exit 216B. Right now in Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, hundreds of jobs will be going away in Laverne. Bridgestone America's operation is going to shut down on July 31st. A media release from Bridgestone said the decision to close the facility due to a need to operate more efficiently and strengthen its competitiveness. That's going to impact about 658 people. Elon Musk calling the Trump tax bill a, quote, disgusting abomination, saying it's pork-filled and shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Well, there's reaction. Here's ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Now that he's a former White House advisor, Elon Musk calls the GOP measure massive, outrageous, pork-filled, and a disgusting abomination. House Speaker Mike Johnson tells reporters he's very disappointed.
My friend Elon is terribly wrong.
But top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer says Musk is right.
Republicans should listen to him.
In the face of estimates that the measure could add nearly $4 trillion to the national debt, its backers say that assessment underestimates the bill's economic benefits. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Now, testimony continues in the trial for Erin Patterson, a woman in Australia accused of murder when 3 people died after eating poisonous mushrooms she allegedly served.
Patterson on Tuesday told the jury she picked and ate wild mushrooms several years before the lunch, saying she developed this hobby for foraging during COVID. They just taste more interesting, more flavour, she said. She told the court she bought most of the ingredients for the deadly lunch at a local supermarket, and some were purchased from an Asian grocer in Melbourne, where she said sometimes the bags might say something like wild mushroom mix. She said she couldn't remember the specific purchase. Patterson's evidence is expected to continue on Wednesday. Britt Clennett, ABC News, Hong Kong.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
So storms, they've come, they've gone. We got a lot of rain that's still come in. But what about all the stuff that's happened in the past? What about your foundation? What about all of the potential of the water that got into the cracks, the little things like that? That's where you need USS, United Structural Systems. Call 615-488-7855. Maybe you've got issues with your crawl space, your basement wall stabilization, your foundation repair, all these things you might need, and that's what they're there for. And we put a lot of stuff off in this world. I think we all know that. We can be paralysis by analysis and laziness. Let USS help you out when you need it the most. They'll come out. They give you a free inspection. They're not going to sell you anything you don't need. It's just that simple, because the next thing you know, you got issues. And those issues would go from a tiny thing to a giant snowball to, oh, my goodness, it's an avalanche. Call them today if you have any worries. 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. That's simple. Or check them out online at USSTN.com. Okay, I will. PainIsBad.com. What's up, everybody? It's me, Chad, for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Now, they've got my seal of approval because of the real deal. And how would you like to have something change your life? Meaning you struggle with back, pain, and you've struggled a lot. Presidential special, right? $34 for your first consultation, x-rays if needed for the first treatment. Why 34? Because he was tried 34 times, and that's why. See where we're going with this? It's the beauty of it. You can have a life free of pain. When the back goes sideways, it's not good. You want to be happy with your life. You want to be out enjoying the beautiful weather. This is what the Wellness Institute of Nashville will deliver. Start a pain-free life, and it is absolutely possible. I want you to call them today. Tell them I sent you. They're amazing. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley are going to take care of you from start to finish. Remember, the presidential special, $34 for your first consultation. That includes x-rays if needed and a first treatment. Call them today, 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or go to painisbad.com. Yahoo, baby! Several of you chiming in. By the way, if you think that people that are here illegally work for like $1 a day, you're fooling yourself. They get paid decent money, and the reason is because you're saving by not having to pay taxes, insurance, things of that nature. So they get paid, there's always this thought of they work for free, right? Like for room and board. That's not it. And you can be mad at it, but that's the reality of I'm talking to my friends who have them. They're like, getting anybody to work, man, I got to pay somebody to come work. And they get a decent wage when they work, when there is any. Right now, there's not a lot. And people are worried. And it's a frustrating thing for all of us, because I'd love to see American homegrown workers out there doing great stuff and doing all that kind. That'd be great. It isn't. Somebody suggested earlier, why don't we have people work their student loans off by picking crops? Well, then why do they have student loans? They could have just gone straight to the picking crops area. So we've got to find a way. That's just what I'm saying. And I know there's a way. Does anybody have the intestinal fortitude to get something done? And this is sans deportation, sans the wall. This is about actually fixing immigration in a way where opportunity is abound for people to come in and especially work for 90 days, and at the same time getting people out here shouldn't be here and who've come here and they're, as Trump would say, bad hombres. So Mount Everest, now Ken, did you climb Mount Everest or you didn't? Probably not. Probably something you didn't do. I wouldn't expect Ken to be a Mount Everest. Let's see, Belle, you didn't climb it, but you want to.
I did not, and I do not want to.
Okay, fantastic. Well, the season's almost over, so we got to wait a year. But I think there's something new that's happening. Now, normally, if you go to Mount Everest, and I always find this fascinating because it's just, we love as human beings to challenge ourselves, right? Like, I like that, but only to a certain extent, as far as my couch goes. Like, that's Ken and I've talked about our couch, our love of the couch and relaxing, because it's a phenomenal thing. But normally it's about 2 months to 3 months at a tune of about $100,000 plus, and that's going up next year, for people to go out and to climb Everest. It's not free. It's not like they go, oh, yeah, come on over, it's free. It takes you a while. You got to acclimatize. You get there. It takes you anywhere 4 to 7 days, even to get through all of your stuff, get all your right permits and the whole 9 yards. Then you got to go up and down 4 base camps, and that's a lot of stuff. But there is a new way now, apparently.
Mount Everest in less than a week. One of the fastest ascents in a place where every breath is borrowed. The remarkable feat accomplished by 4 British climbers just this month, now sparking a fierce debate. At the center of it all, their secret weapon, xenon gas.
This is maybe one step to improve this situation and to make climbing high-altitude mountains safer.
Lucas Furtenbach, who organized the rapid climb, says the gas helps people get used to the higher altitudes quickly. He says it was administered to the 4 climbers in Germany as part of an intense training regiment, weeks before they left for Nepal, effectively replacing the weeks climbers would typically spend getting used to the high altitudes by staying at Everest Base Camp.
Now, is that cheating by using, because there are some people out there, and starting next year, they're trying to cut down on the whole thing. Again, we love to challenge our body and to push ourselves to the limit. And they want to cut down on people, first of all, if you're not very good, because a lot of times what you have, and let's be real, because you don't see a lot of brothers climbing it, right? They're like, no, because white people are stupid enough to go, that's a great idea. But they want to cut down on people not using oxygen, and they want to cut down on inexperience. Like, because there are people out there just think, oh, this seems like a thing to do because I want to challenge myself. It's hell. It is. I mean, you do this, it's hell. And this, some people are saying, is a new way to do it. Faster, quicker, but is it cheating?
Critics say that the time spent preparing outside of Nepal could harm local tourism, according to Jonathan Wolf of the New York Times.
The government of Nepal has said that if people spend less time on the mountain, it's going to affect not only their tourism industry, but also the livelihoods of the Sherpas who rely on guiding people up the mountains.
Furtenbach says his expedition still uses Sherpas, locals who guide climbers to the summit, often carrying their heaviest equipment. But the president of the Nepal Mountaineering Association saying in part climbing in just 4 or 5 days goes against traditional values and norms that we Sherpas have always held.
That's money. It's anywhere between $10,000 and $50,000 for a Sherpa. And that's think about it. This little guy here, right, who probably wouldn't do well on the old Tinder nowadays, is going to guide you up there. And so you're going to pay him good because the goal is to get you back down. The goal isn't to get up there. The goal is to get you back down alive.
Increasingly, Sherpas have warned of the overcrowding of the world's highest peak. Since it was conquered back in 1953, more than 7,000 people have made the dangerous journey to the summit. By some estimates, more than 800 in 2024 alone, sometimes leaving more than their footprint along the way. Everest now littered with frozen garbage, up to 50 tons at the highest camp, according to some Sherpas. Furtenbach says xenon gas could help cut down on that waste.
If people spend 1 week there compared to 8 weeks, it is a 75% reduction of human waste.
Oh, that's good. Because when you got to go, you got to go. And here, you know what's funny? You know where most people are dying? I mean, I don't know if it's funny or not, because that would super suck. The trek up to the summit that day is 12 to 18 hours, even though you're not too far away from it. Most people now are dying because they're standing in line for hours. It's like, imagine going to Disneyland and you're taking, because everybody get up there, they take their picture and do their thing, and then they start their descent, and they're waiting, and people are dying in line. And yes, you don't come home. They don't like, oh, we bring him back down and we'll bury him. They're like, here goes Todd. All right, and Todd's dead. A lot of Todds on the show.
Whether the gas really helps climbers get used to lower oxygen at higher altitudes is also still up for debate.
Some research has shown that xenon can actually quickly acclimatize people to high altitudes, but a lot of experts say, or other experts say, that the benefits kind of are negligible, if there even are any benefits.
But the question for those choosing this journey is whether the summit's glory is diminished when shortcuts are taken.
Do some see it as cheating?
I think that some people say it's missing the point, and I think that, yeah, probably some people would say use of this gas is cheating, yeah.
You didn't float up there, right? You took this gas. And it's funny because the guy goes, well, a lot of people say it's negligible and they don't really do anything for you. So, but it's cheating. So if it doesn't do anything for you, how's that cheating? That's like taking steroids just to give yourself a shot and it doesn't do anything. Still have to hit the baseball. We always say that about, because let's be real, whenever we talk steroids, it's always about baseball. It's not about anything else, which I was totally fine with. I don't care how big athletes get. I don't care let them do drugs all day. Zero problems with that. None. I just don't think it's cheating. And who's going to, did you go up to Everest? Oh, yeah. Well, it doesn't really count because you did xenon gas. First of all, none of your friends are going to know even what that is. And I'm going to be like, were you there, Belle? No, you weren't. You chickened out at base camp.
And I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Base camp, people think base camp's like 20, I think it starts at 21,000 feet.
Okay, I'll be back at the lodge down at the bottom of the mountain then.
I was watching a one of the influencers I always find funny. He's always in the weirdest like countries of all time. He's like, I'm here today in this country where I may get kidnapped. And I'm like, oh, this could be fun. And he just took this flight, which is supposed to be one of the top 2 or 3 most dangerous flights. And they go through like Nepal and stuff. And it is weird to see an airplane and you look over and then there's the mountain, like right there with you. That is a trip. It's an absolute trip. The enhanced games. We didn't talk about that last week, but they're going to do an enhanced games. But it's only 3 categories. It's weightlifting, it's swimming, and it's track, but it's only the sprints. I think it was Saturday Night Live did a all-drug Olympics, and it was hilarious. That was so funny where like everybody was hopped up on like tranquilizers, horse tranquilizers. Like it just, we'll find out. The push the limit. Let's see what the body can do. Let's see what they can do. AI, by the way, they just showed AI bots. And those looked real, by the way, for the ladies. But one of the other things AI is doing, you guys will love this. This is hilarious. This is the latest thing that's out there with AI. It's what if in Bible times they had cell phones?
Good, fam. Your boy David here, about to yeet this little stone at Goliath and see what happens. Okay, so I told y'all to trust the process.
Moses.
But no, y'all wanted to stay in Egypt stacking bricks. Yo, it's Shadrach. This random dude just showed up. It's getting lit in here.
I got the horses in the back. Horse tack is attached. Hat is matte black. Got the boots that's black to match.
You know I'm a daddy's boy. He's got me in this Technicolor drip. Brother's so jelly right now. They're looking a little sus. These Philistines thought they could flex on me. Big mistake. I just took some pre-workout and finna bring the house down. I would like to formally apologize to God, the sailors, and this whale. Sorry, dude.
The guy with the Technicolor dream coat, Joseph, is like, I got this drip. I'm just like, that is so. But you know what's scary? It's how real it looked. That's it. How real. I mean, it was just so real. It's going to be crazy. They showed by the way, they showed their sex bots. Let's be real. That's what they showed on CNN a minute ago. Do you think we're going to have fighting bots? Yeah, we got to, right? Like at some point in time, people are going to have to start fighting those things.
Like what was that Hugh Jackman movie where he builds the fighting robot?
I remember that. I forgot that.
I can't remember the name of it, but
so if only
yeah, those will end up showing up at some point.
Yeah, that's going to happen. That's so going to happen. Well, you know, the fighting bots are going to be cool, you know, but are you going to be able to, how much do you tell, once it goes AI, how much do you tell your plastic loved one about the fact that they're plastic and they're not real?
Well, how do you hide it from them?
That's a good question. That's that movie Companion that's out right now where she finds out that she's essentially a sex bot, and she gets really pissed because she's able to override her system, and now she's a killer. But that's a great question. We're going to be sitting here in 5 years ago, wow, I can't believe Megan was real. Ooh, we're going to wrap it up straight ahead. We're going to talk to Matt Murphy. Let's see what kind of shirt he's wearing today. If you miss any of the Real Steel, by the way. People just texting. Real Steel is the name of that movie with Hugh Jackman. We'll wrap it up straight ahead. Chad Benson here, Super Talk 997. On the radio, we are every day. Broadcasting live. The one
Better
and
than
only.
broadcasting dead.
It's happened before. The ghost everywhere. The one and only Matt Murphy's in the house.
You know, you would think that, but then you go on the Wikipedia. I'm the only Matt Murphy that doesn't have a Wikipedia page, and I'm very grumpy about it because I don't feel like I should make my own Wikipedia page. I feel like someone else.
You should go steal Dale Murphy's and just put your name there.
Well, no, I could steal the other Matt Murphys. There's plenty of Matt Murphys. There's some schmucko Matt Murphy that does Fox News Radio on Sirius XM. I don't know who this fella is, but I'm tooling around, you know, in my travels, and I'm listening. You know, I'm going around, you know, this Fox News headlines. You know, they do like, you know, it's like it's old school headline news kind of thing. And there's some, you know, jerkwad calling himself Matt Murphy. I'm like, well, who's this guy?
Who's this character?
Yeah, and then there's that.
That'll teach you to copyright your name.
I mean, well, that's true. I should have. Yeah. And I should have bought Matt Murphy, the Twitter handle from the British guy when I had a chance, but I didn't.
How much did he want for it?
You know, we never got a price. He said, I'm not interested. And I was like, you sure? I got some money. And he said, no, I'm good. Thanks a lot. But I'll follow you when you set up your page or whatever. And so I just went Matt Murphy show.
Okay. Well,
seemed to work.
Did you ask him, like, if you were to ever, you know, I don't want anything to happen, perish, could you pass it on to me?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you were ever to die, if I gave like a little, you know, something, honorarium in your memory.
That's right.
You know, maybe send you a nice floral arrangement.
A bouquet of flowers.
Yeah, maybe that would be something that we could work out prior to kicking the old bucket there.
Look at that. Look at the way you do stuff. See? Always thinking, brother. Always
but you know what? It's actually funny because he got me into full circle here. He got me into the old round football a little bit.
Football.
He's a Man U. He's
Manchester United.
Jolly old England, and he's a Man U guy. I was like, okay, I'll be a Man U guy too.
There you go.
Is that okay?
That's good.
I mean, are you good with that, Benson?
It's been better in the past, but it's good.
Okay. We had listen to my soccer knowledge. You ready?
Yeah.
Man U hasn't been relegated, have they?
No.
That's good. Is that a thing?
Ever.
That's a thing.
That
right?
means Manchester United, right?
Yes, Manchester United.
Look at me go.
So Man U is Manchester United, and City is... So we can't say that. Just put an S in front of it.
I think that means poopy.
Yes.
I think it means poop.
That's exactly what it means.
What's going on with you, Chad?
Nothing. We've talked about Mount Everest, short guys.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah,
I heard Bell get real quiet when y'all talking about short people. Did you notice that?
Well, he's got no head, but he's still 8 feet tall.
I know. Without a head.
Yes, which is crazy.
Which is odd.
So we talked about a lot of stuff. We talked immigration. We talked about the big, beautiful bill that is disgusting, and it is. Now, what's it look like when all is said and done? Is it a horror movie, a romantic comedy when the Senate gets done with it?
Well, I mean, no, I think it's a horror show. Yeah. I think it's a horror show because Republicans and Democrats are all addicted to spending in Washington, D.C. And this gets to a point where, you know, Donald Trump can push and press and prod as much as he wants to, but he can't make them vote the way that he wants them to vote, and he can't make them structure a bill. Congress has to have appetite for it. And Congress has two things that prevent them from being able to be financially disciplined. One, their reelection does not depend on it. It just doesn't. Because they run back to their home districts, even in conservative districts, and say, man, guys, I tried, but all these others.
But look at all the stuff I brought back for you guys.
Right. Oh, well, that's different.
Yeah.
You know,
because everybody likes cuts as long as it's not in your area.
Right. It's like the revert. I call it's the opposite of the NIMBY syndrome, right? Everybody knows we need garbage treatment facilities, but we don't want them in our neighborhoods.
Exactly.
You know, and nobody wants pork. Well, but our pork is okay.
Yeah. That's always been that
fine.
Way, right?
And secondarily, they know that when the chickens come home to roost, they'll be dead. I mean, or at least
that
retired.
can will hit the wall, and there's nothing anybody can do about it from there.
And they'll be long gone, and exactly. They'll have their money, and they'll be fine. And so, I mean, those two facets of this are infuriating to me because I think they say that they have the best interest of the United States of America, and they don't.
They failed. And I look at this, and if I'm Trump, and I'm like, I thought you promised me last time with your omnibus bill that was so big, I was never going to do anything like this again. You're pushing. You want these tax cuts so bad. Great. But the reality is this is going to cost us a lot more money, and it's not doing all the things you think of. That big, beautiful bill it's fat, and there's a reason you're raising the debt ceiling. It's not because we just want it as an in case.
I'm not intolerant of the idea that you can't do it this year, but just show me the path. That's all I want. Yeah. And I don't see a path with this crap.
Just it. No doubt about that. Matt Murphy, straight ahead. Oh, my God, it's going to be so much fun. Don't go anywhere. We'll do it again tomorrow.